Welcome to the Winter Equestrian Festival and a big night of competition once again. When isn't it here in this fabulous arena? But it's been a long, big week of competition, including five-star dressage, and tonight it is the Horseware Island Grand Prix as well for jumping. A proud history of leading the way in equine apparel, of tearing down barriers between horse and rider and improving the experience of riding together through it all since 1985. You can head to their website at www.shop.horseware.com. Thanks to them and to Dodd Technologies that bring us our streaming each week, and technical support industry leaders providing creative design and technical support services for the sports, entertainment, corporate communications and special events markets as well. With us each week or two are US Equestrian and USEF Network, and of course with us throughout the year as well, as they wonderfully support our sport, and we will bring you over their networks as well. Lots of what's going on over the coming weeks here, and as I say, not too many weeks left to go. We're into week 10, as they put it, of the Winter Equestrian Festival 2. It's Horseware Island week this week, and that means it is a four-star competition. Interesting field for this. We'll talk about a lot of that as we go through with my commentary team in a few minutes time, and it is a previous long list of top class winners that have been here before as well. Last year we saw Ken Farrington going to a fantastic win here as well with Tulane. That horse of course then went on to many other successes throughout the season too, including winning at high speed in Geneva at the fabulous Rolex event there in December. And Ken Farrington, with this horses in its early stages, really proving what they can do as an A-list lineup. Now, interestingly, tonight, Ken Farrington is going to be riding the horse that he won the gold medal at the Pan Am Games on. He's going to be riding at Landon, which is going to be one to keep an right eye on. But whatever Ken Farrington's riding is always going to be in the mix. And what about the rest over the last few years? Well, we go back to the previous year, to 2022, and that was when Laura Crouch was top of the tree there as well. And a good battle for Laura with Con Fu on that occasion. She's had some wonderful Grand Prix over the last couple of years, of course the five-star with Balatinho as well. But Con Fu, and as part of the Horseware Island family, she was delighted to get to the top of the leaderboard with this one as well. And a hard-fought Grand Prix once again. But Laura, as ever, also part of the team that won gold at the Pan Am Champions too. As we know, can dig deep and get it done. And certainly she and Con Fu were right on form here through the night. It was a real chase down to the fence over near the International Club at the Horseware Island Vertical to bring things home at good time to take the top two placings for the last 2 years. So it is there, Laura Crouch and also Ken Farrington. A hard act to follow here tonight, but we've got a top class list to bring you to try and do exactly that, and not just from the USA but from across the world as ever here for this wonderful week. And of course it's St Patrick's Day tomorrow as well, so if the Irish win there could be a lot more celebrating as part of the Horseware Islands Grand Prix night too. All that coming up. Will join us after the break. We're back in a few minutes.
I share my life with them. I think we're lucky that we get to do what we do, and I've never looked at it as a sacrifice.
For me, being on a horse is the one place I can truly be myself.
They do have a language, you just have to learn how to speak it.
Remember that they feed off of our energies, and so if you're in a good mood or you're happy, they'll reflect that back.
You meet people from all over the world. You have friends that share the same passion for horses, and I think that's something very special.
Horses is the only constant thing in my life, and it will always be there when I need it.
For me, it's connection.
They make me who I am.
It's very hard to explain. It's magical.
It's just who we are.
In one word, it's freedom.
For me, it's everything.
My first goal when I decided to be a professional, it's to become like the best horsewoman I can be.
Just about 10 minutes away from our start with tonight's $215,000 Horseware Ireland Grand Prix, ladies and gentlemen. This time, if you would please direct your attention to the video board.
Every day to do what I love. I used to have like one passion was the horses, and now I have two. It's my daughter, so I really want to have this balance in my life. I'm Marie Ecart. I'm a professional show jumper representing France and I'm Lola's mom. Be mindful, be present, turn on your brain.
We fly horses anywhere around the world, whether it is a hobby horse or it's an Olympic champion. It's about getting an animal from point A to point B safely, in best of health, and in the quickest possible of time. We understand the business better than anybody else. We do not leave any stone unturned, and we are staffed by horse people from every layer of the company. We give horses wings around the world, across the globe, or across the street.
It goes like this.
Is that convenience for you here at Wellington International?
Welcome back here to Wellington International. Set to go into this $215,000 Horseware Island 4-star Grand Prix tonight. And it takes us into what's known as week 10 around here, which means 2 weeks of competition still to come here in this wonderful arena. And what a night of competition we've got laid out for you. Really interesting field, really exciting course set by Oscar Sobron as well. And I'd like to say alongside me, as we're keeping the Irish theme for the night, is Andrew Bournes. Andrew, very good evening to you.
Good evening to you.
St. Patrick's Day tomorrow.
Yes, it is.
You probably need telling that.
I'm getting ready. Yeah, I'm wearing the wrong colour shirt, though. I meant to wear my green shirt.
You can have that one for tomorrow. That's fine. You can preserve it for tomorrow. Exactly. And, well, as you can see, we're in Rolex green colours there over the bridge here in Wellington International. But, well, were they green walking the course? We're going to have a look at that. Let's take a look at what's been laid out by Oscar Sobron, our course designer here as well. Fidelity Investments are sponsors of that course description each time, our wonderful animation. So we're going to take a look at what Oscar has set in the lineup here, and let's go virtually under the bridge. And Andrew, this is a really interesting course indeed. One with 50 vertical to start off, and I think probably 9 here up to fence 2.
Probably 9. It depends on your horse. If you can get going at a good pace early on, it'll protect your time allowed. You'll cut in the 9, but if you want to keep your horse together, you'll do 10. I would go inside.
Interesting.
Despite what the graphic did to the triple bar. And then that's a really interesting line then, because it could be a very long 8 or a wide 9 to a very short 4 strides.
Yes, the rocks at fence 5, a little bit different in the colours as well. That's going to come back to that one. Then we're rolling back here to what is a set of skinny planks.
Yeah, the tiny, you'd almost look like derby rails.
Yeah.
And then you've got a pretty average distance up to the NetJets Oxer, and then over to the that's actually a wall.
Yes.
There underneath the big screen, and then a bending 6 strides, and you'll notice that you have the Liverpool behind B of that double under the lights. That can cause quite a bit of trouble.
Down here to 10, then to the ware fence, then back across the centre to 11. Hedge underneath this one, white rails underneath. You were mentioning derbies. It's a little bit of a hark back to that with the Horseware Island fence.
I was going to say, yeah, and Oscar has definitely gone with a theme here of some natural jumps everywhere.
Triple combination ABC, 1 stride in each of those, 160 on the way out, and final line here. We were talking 8, maybe 9, depending what you're playing with.
It depends on what you got. Don't forget there's a Liverpool under it and a very kind of beige coloured, pastel coloured pole. So you want to be a little bit careful on that last fence as well.
So $215,000 Horseware Island Grand Prix. Oscar Sobron, our course designer. Time allowed 81 seconds. $215,000 in the purse. 505 meters. 13 obstacles, 16 jumping efforts tonight. So there is plenty to keep you entertained out there as well, and to keep us entertained as well. Horseware Island are supporting sponsors tonight. Proud history of leading the way in equine apparel. And for them, we've been together with them since 1985. And you can head to their website, www.shophorseware.com. So lots coming up in there. Andrew, we've got a couple of minutes to just talk about that course because we've got loads in there to talk about. Give me one line out of there.
A lot of questions.
Yeah.
That's my main observation. There's a lot of options in there depending on the length of your horse's stride. What I kind of like about this course is you can set off on either quite a forward pace and just go on the leave outs the whole way round the course, or if it suits your horse, you can pick a more steady pace. But don't forget the time allowed is going to be an issue. You're going to have to turn tight on your turns and kind of make up for it there. It really is quite horse specific, this course. And the last couple of big classes we've seen under the lights here, we've seen course builders kind of lock you in on a certain number, the only one that'll work. Whereas Oscar has gone a little, I think he's gone a little bit looser here, and he's left people the option. It's a little like the old saying, you give someone enough rope to hang themselves, and they can make mistakes. So I think in this course, you really need to know your horse.
Yeah.
Know what suits your horse, know how the horse is going to react to each fence and in each circumstance, and make your plan accordingly.
Absolutely. And lights just really taking over now. It's getting darker over the arena, as you would expect. And we are getting ready for the singing of the national anthem here in this stadium as well. And so we're going to hand over to the stadium team for an impressive start to tonight's Horseware Ireland Grand Prix with the national anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watch, were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does the star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the Lamb of the free and the home of the brave.
Well, there we go. Thank you very much. Not going to try and follow that, but we are going to be hitting as many good notes as we can tonight. Andrew Bourne's alongside me for this Horseware Ireland Grand Prix. And very swiftly, the lights take over. The sun disappears and we're into the evening competition here in Wellington. A lineup of how many? Well, 38 in all going in the Grand Prix tonight. $215,000 Horseware Ireland 4-star Grand Prix. And it is going to be a really interesting one. We've got Ukraine, we've got US, we've got Brazil, we've got Lebanon, we've got Great Britain, we've got Chile, and lots more as well. Our first, though, is coming into view, and there he is, René Tebel of Ukraine, to start us off with Nabucco Zed. Highly experienced rider from him. He's been Nations Cup rider over the years. He's been one of the very best through some amazing horses throughout a star-studded career, and great to have him here in Wellington as well. It's seen him through to the likes of the European Championships back to 1988 as the young riders, but then of course it developed over the years to 2017. Last appearance in the European Olympic Games in 2016 as well, and around 8 World Cup final appearances. Some fabulous horses over the seasons, including the great Radiator back in the 90s. From his point of view, he's got the difficult task of being the first one to go here. 81 seconds the time allowed. Nabucco Z by Nabab Derev for Good Einhaus of here in Wellington. He's also here training with Ansgar Holchers Jr., who's been very successful through those youth classes, and of course a Grand Prix winner himself already this season. Andrew, over the lighthouses to start us off, and like you said, we've got some distances to play with.
Yeah, you can see there, just kind of halfway down there, not that he changed his mind, but he definitely planned on the 10 strides. So maybe a younger horse, and he just doesn't want to start off too quickly. Very good ride there. It's set up for the 4 strides, down to those stone color oxer. It looks better under the lights, actually, that stone color. So does this Derby rail here. They almost get a better lock on it than they did during the day. Very short there in that distance. Now he has a minute to just move the horse forward. Rennie's going to play on his experience. He just has so many miles jumping these big tracks. Almost looked like the horse lost a shoe there. Oh, so there is the Liverpool at B of the double. The horse just caught the horse off guard. It's only a 10-year-old horse. And it looked like he either lost a boot or lost a shoe straight after the wall. Threw the horse off a little bit. And then the Liverpool, the back, was just a little bit too much for a greener horse. It's a shame now because he actually was having a really, really good round there.
Yeah.
I think it's just a bit of bad luck more than anything else. And now you get a good look at that horse's bit as well. It's actually a bridle that I've quite a bit of experience using.
Yes.
It's both a hackamore and it's got a snaffle in there as well.
Little look back at the wall.
Oh, big jump over the wall. And there goes the shoe. And you can see the horse is just, these careful horses, just a little bit thrown off. And he's like, no, Dad, that's too much.
Yeah. And a boot goes down. That also just provides a bit of
the
distraction.
Boot just got onto it. It's the kind of thing that would really just throw a horse off.
Yeah.
You don't want that happening to you.
Well, hopefully better things for Heather Caristo-Williams as our second with Stephanie Bolger's Marciano MVF. And finishing well into the list of international classes so far this season, mainly through the 2 and 3 stars so far, and again another step up for them here, but again ready for it as we go with Heather and this gelding by Staccato.
I do think she's ready for it. I think as far as a 4-star Grand Prix goes, this is about as strong as you'll ever see. It's quite a
welcome to Wellington.
Yeah, exactly. You didn't come here for small jumps. You would call it a stout course, but I think Heather's been having a fantastic year so far, and she's put out some really, really good results and some really good rounds. So that was just, horse got a little discombobulated there from the triple bar to the white vertical. She wants to set him up in here a little bit for these derby style rails, we'll call them. That's a very short 6. Yo. Now, at this point, there's a bunch of riders out in the in-gate, and they're thinking to themselves, my plan maybe wasn't as well thought through as I thought originally.
Yeah.
And they're going to start making changes. And sometimes that can be the worst thing as well, because you make changes according to other people's horses, what other people's horses do.
And sometimes you actually just want to put the blinkers on and
sometimes
go, I've got my plan.
Say, no, I know what I'm doing. I know my horse. I know my horse can do it.
Which is sometimes, again, and we talk about this a lot, and it doesn't matter what level it is, even going into those 5-star Grand Prix, sometimes when you go early in a jump-off, as well, that you go, actually, I'd rather do that.
Yeah.
And for the top riders, I know I've talked to them a lot, they go early in a Grand Prix, and they go, oh, is that a disadvantage? They go, well, actually, my plan's my plan.
Yeah, not always. And I know for me, a couple of times I've had it, even in the Nations Cup, where I went early on the team or early in the Grand Prix, and it almost served as an advantage to me.
Yeah.
Because I sat afterwards, and I've already had a clear round, and I watched people make mistakes. I was like, oh God, glad I didn't see that happen.
You didn't get yourself in too much of a tiswas over it.
I might have manifested it. Now, with help from my mental coach and a lot of people around me, I'm getting much better at that, but there was a time.
We'll talk about that in just a moment's time, actually. Guilherme Dutra Forroni of Brazil and Ivo Rosa de Silva Fio's Legendary Himon is the stallion that goes next for Guilherme. And for him, well, he's been a gold medalist from the South American Games in 2022. Past, again, featuring through a terrific youth career. But for here now, this again, a combination of just been coming through the 2s, 3 stars actually back to Rio de Janeiro last year. They got some wonderful World Cup shows there, as we saw from our winner, Luciano Lossio, who won down there before. But again, little light run down there. And that, again, you felt that line will start to accumulate.
Yeah, it's a very, very careful line. I must say he made up the 8 strides quite well after the triple bar, which really depends how you jump the triple bar. So he was able, but I think just under the lights, it's a very tall vertical. The horse just didn't get a good eye on the top rail. That's a very solid wall. Nice ride in the 6. Even though he had a little rub on A, he still kind of held the horse together very well there. Roll back on this WEF Oxer. This one. He did a 9 there. I'm not sure if maybe he should have just left that stride out, because he really had to work hard to get the horse. But you're coming to a 2 verticals here to a wide Oxer, so you don't want to be going too strong. Looks like he got the 8 strides there to the end. So
80.65 is the time, finishing on a score of 20, and for them, what was it, 81 time allowed from that point of view. So gets inside that, 20 this time. But again, what do we gleaned having had our first complete? Not easy to, but
I hope you brought your jumping boots, your A game, because it's a big, solid track. When I walked it, frankly, I said it's definitely closer to a 5-star than a 4-star tonight. It's very typical what you get this time of year in Wellington. Very strong field, really good horses, really good riders. And then the course builder like Oscar is given specs, but he can do so much more, even though it's under meter 55. He's set a lot of questions and a lot of options there for riders.
And as you say, you've got a very strong field coming through. You've got Jadana here now of Lebanon with Caro W. Wonderful story for him as well, having started out in his father's riding stables, then crossed over to Canada, eventually ending up here in the US with Leslie Howard as well, and has been super successful this season. Won actually the opening Grand Prix back onto Premier Week. What was that, about 20 years ago? And you know, again, has already won in the MS 150 series, but he's just a big winner here.
Yeah.
But again, you're just trying to get the height at that skinny little white fence.
Yeah, and he did the 7, which would be my choice, given the horses that I normally ride. So it's definitely the longer distance. And again, it's a top, very, very tall, light vertical. And unless you have a really experienced horse, they're just not getting a lock on it. I think Jad has been riding fantastically in the last couple of years. He's really kind of grown. I remember when he first came here and first started with Leslie, and really she's done a fantastic job with him. And he's kind of grown now to be definitely one of the more well-respected professionals and Grand Prix riders around here, because his results have been exceptional. It's actually quite a good round now.
Yeah, just on the 4 at the moment.
Double the verticals. Very good. Whoa. So now he did the 8 strides to the last, and I would have said until the last second it was the right idea.
Yep.
But that's a wide Oxer with a Liverpool underneath it. So it's just a little bit typical of what this course is. Again, a lot of options, and you really kind of have to suit your horse. And you can see he got to a nice distance, but it was forward, and he was just reaching for a little bit, but pulled the horse together back nicely for the next fence.
Natalie Dean, Chance Samel for the rider inside the world's top 100 now. 24-year-old, originally from California. There we go. Big kiss to get started. That's the extra little bit of petrol in the engine. Off they go. Yep. Chance Samel, a fantastic horse for her that she rode onto Nations Cup teams, including going very well up in Spruce Meadows previously as well, and here. And for her, it's been a good season too. She's been going fantastically in the U25 series, but also finishing top 10 in the 5-star Grand Prix just the other day as well.
Yeah, she's out. It's such a great year, and she's now training with Ben, and before that she was training with Alan Furter. I think, you know, 2 fantastic trainers. Now she's done the 9 strides 1 to 2, and then she did the 7 there, and you see how short that 4 strides is. after the longish 7. Chance of jumping super. This is just fantastic mirror at this level. Unlucky rail there. Got that oxer. Now she'll canter up to this wall. But this pair are so experienced, they've jumped at this level a couple of times before. And they've had some incredible results together.
And
Very
again,
good.
this is a pair, as you say, I mean, this is one that's been at sort of 5-star level from that point of view. So, I mean, you're coming at this 4-star on two different lines of attack. Those that are coming in now to the 2 and 3-star level, and those that are coming 5
you've
down.
got two groups. You know, you've got your 5-star riders like Natalie that have been there before, and then you've got the ones that are trying to make their way up. But hey, look, both of them are struggling a little bit on this course, which is, you know, Oscar definitely brought his A game tonight. He's not going to give away any free rounds, that's for sure. And I believe it was Michael Whittaker once said that at the end of the day, the course builder is your #1 opponent.
Yes.
You have to beat the course builder first.
Well, total of 16 there at 76.68. Time okay there for Natalie Dean and Chance Saint-Amel. Again, horse has been lightly competed since September of last year, so really just getting back into the fray here, and you can see they've certainly got the ability.
Yeah, and fantastic. Definitely one of Natalie's better horses, and you'll see now she'll start shaping this horse up for some bigger classes during the summer, and maybe a trip to Europe as well to do some of the global tours.
Absolutely, yeah, going to be over there with Ben Mayer, as you mentioned. Lucy Davis of the US and Olympic silver medalist going back to 2016 with the fabulous Baron. And the Old Oak Group's Ben the Westphalian by Sylvain. Now, for those that think this horse's name sounds familiar, it's nice and easy, which is great. Thank you very much. But was ridden with Gerrit Nieberg as well to win the Aachen Grand Prix a couple of seasons ago as well. Now, she's been
record.
Building nicely with this horse since the very tail end of last year. It's been a short relationship so far. She's working with Laura Kraut as well, who's been down there training on the floor, and Nick Skelton. This is their first sort of real
This will be
test.
their first real test, and definitely, you know, a rider that has competed very successfully at this level before, and a horse that obviously has competed very successfully at this level before. Now, watch. She actually landed there, and she added the stride, and it did pay off. So she did the 8 strides, but you know, the repercussions of that is she now has to worry about the time allowed, but it has set her up well for that little skinny vertical. She goes the 5 strides through the middle there, which is actually the forward one. So now she's changed from a steady distance to a forward distance. We'll see what she does here. This is a normal sext. Line it up. Very good. So, you know, Lucy, back when she was competing at this level before, she was exceptionally good.
Yes,
and
because she herself has taken a break for a good while as well.
Yeah, she took a break to run her business and build her empire in that respect. And so far, she's definitely showing signs. She's having no trouble getting back into the fray. Very kind of, I would say, conservative but smart approach to that.
Cheers are coming. They've still got one fence to go. And now they can cheer.
Super.
It is at 79.89, so good for time. And Lucy Davis and Ben produced a good round. And I'm sure there's a bit of an exhalation of breath at that point, going, great, we've got a good one behind us.
Yeah, Oscar can can breathe now.
Yeah.
There was a while there he was probably saying, oh, did I overdo it? But look, you have an absolute 5-star horse and 5-star rider here. So, yeah, they should be clear. And it's interesting because I've actually watched Lucy have a couple of mixed rounds on this horse and make a couple of mistakes, and it's really interesting for me to now see her really pull it together on the night.
Because that's been sort of part of the learning process.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
now it's sort of from here on in, we got to go.
It's a bit, you got to break some eggs to make an omelet. And I have this conversation a lot with people when they get new horses that, look, it's not going to work out perfect straight away, but as long as the bones are good and the idea is right, you'll actually get there.
Charlie Jacobs and the CMJ Sport Horses Kenzo Quality by Kanan for this 10-year-old for Charlie, a 4-time World Cup finalist, and for him also busy with the family business as well. Delaware North too, including of course the Boston Bruins. A little bit of a sticky start there, but off and running again for this a pairing that are just stepping into the FEI level here with them. But Charlie's quite capable of again jumping in.
Very capable of this, but he hasn't jumped a class like this in quite a while. And you can see that horse is just, you know, even right at the first fence there, just took a second look at that #1 under the lights. Horse is spooky. It actually suited him there because that's a very short forward, and the horse backed up a little bit. Now he has the chance to get the horse going forward again and kind of reinstill a bit of confidence. Good ride there. The 5 strides better. The horse just got up on top of that oxer a little bit. I wouldn't worry too much about it. Good shot on the wall. Got to stay a little committed in that 6. So what happened there, you would say that the horse and rider got a little lost just in that bending line. The horse wasn't 100% sure. Charlie's going to reapproach. And then the Liverpool under B in that double, you're going to see that cause a little bit of trouble tonight as well. Just a horse that hasn't jumped under the lights in a while and maybe hasn't seen a Liverpool on B.
Well, and these two basically haven't done FEI classes together at all. But it's a horse that was produced with Joao Victor Castro in recent years as well over in Europe.
This is a big move up. I think Charlie should be pretty happy with this. That he kind of got in there and got around a course like this. You can only get better from here.
Well, 20 jumping plus time there as well for Charlie Jacobs and Kenzo Quality Z for them this time, like I say. But it's the starting point for them as well. Now into this triple combination, and again a little bit of a stamina test here. Triple combination late
at the
into
end
the
of
course.
The course. And also don't forget, from the oxer to the oxer just before the triple combination, you had a long distance with 2 big wide oxers. And if you watch Lucy, the way she rode it on bench, she went wide. She really took a half halt. She slowed the horse down, almost separated the 2 parts of the course.
Yeah.
And that really served her well then to jump through the triple combination.
Tim Gredley now, and Tim with Medoc de Torsandria for the British rider. And this was the horse he actually rode at the European Championships last year. Finished well in the Rome Grand Prix together too. And due to be onto the teams as well next week at the Nations Cup in Ocala as well. So it'd be really interesting to see. So this is a good one to keep them ticking over here. Yeah,
the League of Nations. Nice setup for Tim, you know, under the lights. It's actually what Oscar has built tonight is probably close to comparable to what they'll build next week. The oxers might be a little bigger and wider just because it's a 5-star. You've a lot of very hotshot teams coming over from Europe. The Germans, the Dutch, they're all sending very strong teams. He rode that really well, actually. Now, he expected that to be shortish for, and the horse kind of almost overcorrected, and he had to ride the horse forward again, but he reacted in time. Oh, that was unlucky.
And just drops off that little plank.
Yeah. Good jump over that. Super nice horse, though. Just a nice connection there between the horse and rider. You know, they're kind of listening to each other the whole time. Good harmony between the two. Very good through that double. Horse didn't even bat an eyelid at the Liverpool underneath B of that. Now, this is a little long. Got right up against it. Now Tim wants to reset. Oh, horse almost spooked there a little bit out. But it actually set him up very nicely for the A, B, C in the triple. Very good. And again, you're going to see that last fence cause some trouble.
Yes.
Again, Liverpool underneath it, and it's got that pastel color. It's a little bit hard for the horses to really get an eye on it and see exactly what they need to do.
And it looks flashy new paint on there.
Yeah.
So as you say, it just everything about it looks a little bit opaque.
You know,
from
they're
that
a little tired after jumping through the triple, and now it's a longish distance in the 8, and you're just flattening them out. That's where you need a horse with a lot of experience and just the ability to kind of know, oh, I better try one more time over this one.
Samuel Parro Jr. and this is the Chilean rider onto HFB Versace for Samuel, following in his father's footsteps, who's been a regular winner here of big classes and Grand Prix here in Wellington before now. This is the horse he actually rode at the Pan Am Games last year to finish top 20 as well. And again, just been really coming into their game this season. This is about when they're absolutely ready to step back into the big Grand Prix.
Yeah, again, you know, Samuel's another one that's just stepping into the bigger level here this week. I'm sure some of them are happy to see a course this strong because they want to get back in at that higher level, and then some of them are maybe wishing that it was a little bit easier. But so far, Samuel's on a good start. Very good. So you actually got that very nice and smooth, and that's a difficult line. You triple bar to a really careful vertical to a wide oxer, and the horse made it look easy. It's a nice quality horse, actually, jumping these big jumps with ease. Very good.
12 now by the great Verdi that was ridden, of course, with Michael van der Vleuten. Ooh.
Just
he just almost looked to cut in a bit there.
He's cutting in a little bit to the right there. Just didn't do himself any favors. Good on that. Horse is a lot of stride. So, you know, horse is a big, big stride. So a lot of times you're going to see someone actually trying to make room for the horse. So really, on that 6 strides to the double, the horse just cut in a little bit, almost made the distance a bit too short. There's your 2 verticals to an oxer. Hard. And a good jump out over the last.
Till of 8, 80.77 there for Samuel Porro Jr. and HFB Versace. Gets inside, just inside the time at 80.77. So Lucy Davis, the 0 score on there. 8 is the next after that. We should also reiterate too that we are going in reverse order of qualifying.
Yes.
From earlier on this week as well, both onto the Friday class and to our WEF qualifier earlier on this week. So the person going last, which is McLean Ward, was the man who jumped in to win the WEF qualifier. So from that point of view, we then get into the ones that were a little bit stronger earlier on this week as well. On to Gabriel de Matos Machado now, and Kristen Kopp Real Estate and the Bay Winds Equestrians Legoland Sandro for the Irish bred gelding by Sandro Boy. Drumilla Digital. I'm looking at you. You know everything about Irish breeding, but you might be foxed by this one.
It says it's by Clinton.
Yeah.
Sandra Boy.
I seem to remember Clinton's Irish accent.
Yes. Depends on what day of the week you're asking.
But let's take a look around with Gabriel.
Turn back on this triple bar. You want to be a little tight on it just to keep your time allowed, right? So now most people are doing the add stride there, which is smart because it sets you up both for the vertical, and it's easy to do. You just stay a little bit wide, and clearly the time allowed is not going to be a huge issue this evening as long as your horse is relatively quick. Jumped that line very nicely, actually. So now the horse is starting to settle down into the round a little bit. You could see it was a little bit hot, a little bit difficult at the start, and it's kind of gotten its breath now. As it's going around and jumps more fences, it's the horse is almost getting a little more comfortable with Gabriel. Oh, good. Well, a good save there. So he got a little bit underneath the oxer and he had to ride up in the 8. Now this is where he's got to slow the horse down, almost like split the round in half, and then this is the second half of the round for the triple combination.
Oh, no. Boot and a pole at the last, 79.65. Finishing on the 4 there for Gabriel de Matos Machado and Legoland Sandro. It was looking good. We maybe have a look at that last fence again there, and just got a bit all of a scramble at the end.
When I used to ride ponies, we used to call that last fence itis.
Yes. You can call it what you like, it's the same result.
So that's 8 strides, oxer to oxer. You need to just be on it a little bit and go forward. So Gabriel for sure landed it, rode it correctly, and suddenly, I imagine what happened is he picked up on the 7 halfway there.
Yeah.
His eye picked up on the 7 strides, and he was like, oh crap, there we go, and he lost his count a little bit. And it's something that happens at this level. You just got to keep your cool, keep your head. And, you know, we talked earlier about working with mental coaches and stuff like that. About here is where he says, oh, I'm going. And the horse said,
I'm
no,
going.
we're not. And
we're going.
It just wasn't there for him. So I'd say this to any other riders, you know, land and just believe in the 8 a little bit. Yes, you need to stay committed, but it's there. It's there and it'll come to you.
Kathleen Driscoll and Rome now for the Plain Bay Farm, training and base with the Prudence. She's been working for them for a while and very successfully. Last season, terrific run in Traverse City. This season as well, super start into the big classes here. Was a winner into the 5-star weeks as well. And just tips a rail there. Does you know, how tight up do you feel? Because I mean, I looked at the measurements. There's what 1840 in terms of meters.
It's tight.
It's
you
tight.
Know,
it
from
feels
tight. From vertical to an oxer, it's tight. And also, you'll notice she did 7 strides after the triple bar, which work beautifully for that fence on its own. But sometimes you wonder, would you be better just wrestle with the horse a little bit earlier and then set up the 4? But you can sit here and ask yourself these questions all day, in and out. The horse might have still knocked it. It might have knocked the vertical if you tried to do the 8. You pick the best plan for your horse on the night, given the course that you walk, and then hope that it works out. And just for tonight, for Kathleen, it didn't work out. But I must say, she has been riding exceptionally well this WAF, and some fantastic results and some amazing horses. And so she should be, you know, with help like the Prudence behind her. A team like that is fantastic, and Plain Bay, they really are one of the best in the business.
And they've taken what is her raw, determined talent to do this and said, let's go and do this.
Determination. At the end of the day, she's just got determination, and whatever Katie says to do or Henri says to do, she'll do it.
Yeah.
Unquestionably. And for really to get to this level for anyone, they have to be able to do that, because nobody invented this sport. Nobody's going to make it up as they go along. You've got to learn from the people that have been there before you.
Who did you learn from?
Oh, have you got all night?
Give me a top. Give me a 3. Give me 3 out of that list.
I learned a lot from the old Irish equitation school riders.
Yes.
Jerry Mullins, John Lenningham, David O'Brien. Like, those guys were incredible. I learned a lot from them.
You've blown your 3 already.
John Lenningham. Yeah, well, that's one. John Lenningham quite
cheating.
extensively. Derek Cairns. I learned a lot from him. And more recently now, Chris Kapler. I trained with Chris quite a bit, and he helps me extensively. And
US Olympic medalist, of course. Let's take a look round with Erin Ballard and Coco Net for the White Show Stables for this mare by Coleman. Just a 10-year-old here as well for her. I mean, again, I say just a 10-year-old, but they should be coming right into their prime here for this.
Yeah, and I would say this for this pair, they should be just right comfortable at this level. Just really interesting. Coleman. I have had a few Colemans in my life, and I would say probably one of my favorite sires in the last number of years. I just love their attitude, and this horse is just very typical. They're very rideable, very amenable, and they just keep finding that next little bit of scope every time. So there's a little plug for Coleman, really, and not that easy to find a nice Coleman these days, but really exceptional breeding if you ever manage to find one. And this horse is definitely showing form tonight. I just noticed, you know, Erin has come in here and she's just riding this horse. She's giving this horse the numbers and the distances that the horse needs to suit it. I don't, you know, she's not riding it like she's panicking or like she saw somebody else made a mistake earlier a certain distance. She's just putting the horse right where it needs to be.
Her only thing might be time.
Yeah.
Well, that's going to not help either.
No.
But
super
again, it's one of the bigger tracks this horse has jumped. And 80.86 actually did come under the time in the end. Looked a little close to it back there, but puts them with one fence down here, coming in here to the triple combination. What do you think, Andrew?
I would have said she set it up quite well. Honestly, I'm going to put that one down to greenness, you know. Erin jumped in. Horse backed up a little for the 2 verticals, as it should, and then she legged and said, come on, get out that back bar. And he said, okay, got out a little bit too much. And I would say nothing else, only greenness, because if she hadn't rode a little bit and he had the back bar down, you would have said it was Erin's mistake. So.
Yeah. Sloane Coles now, and Sloane with the Ninja Group's Ninja. Let's keep it nice and simple. Belgian bred mare by Elvis Teput for Sloane. Partnership that's been together for a good while, good couple of seasons now for this horse that started with Theresa Hendrickson in Norway. And Sloane, again this season, come through the 2 and 3 stars, so this is their biggest week.
Yeah, absolutely. It's funny, when I had younger horses, this was always the week. It used to be a 3-star this class as well, and was the one I would always move up my 9-year-olds into. And it used to be a little softer than this one, that's for sure, and I'd have a 9-year-old in it.
Used to be.
But I have to say, you know, for the younger horses coming in here, big test.
Yes.
But fair and correctly built. And I have to say, Sloane is absolutely riding fantastic already. So again, you know, so Sloane just rode that whole line exactly for what her horse needs. Now people are starting to get a bit clearer on their plan. Oh, almost overrode that, but very got it out over the end. Up to the wall. Get her eye. Oh, that was first seen. I thought Sloane had a pretty good approach. The horse jumped that double really, really well. Horse getting a hair strong there. Good. She needs it now. She steadied the horse there a little bit for the oxer. I'm not sure if that was entirely correct, but that hedge underneath that oxer, the white poles, can do that sometimes to the horse that hasn't seen it that much. Good on the vertical. Very good out over the oxer, actually. Now, and she just kind of sat pretty. Oh, thought she had a nice ride there to that last. And that's that last fence with that pastel color. You can ride it perfectly, and if the horse doesn't get a proper bead on that top rail, you're going to have it down. It's really difficult.
12 jumping to time here at the wall there for Sloane Coles. Yes, those little bricks going off the top. Very light, I can tell you. I was filming a piece before this class with Guilherme ready for Rolex Week, and we went looking at some of those fences, and I just flicked that off. It was really easy. And again, looking at the last fence, and we're talking about how you get a fix on those final fences. But you know, a lot of it drops in. And I'm saying this because you're really across the room, but you're just about far enough across the room. You know, that is also into your court as well as a rider. Yeah.
And you know, the material, modern sport now, they're getting much smarter with lighter material and with colors and blending colors, where it's harder for a horse to get locked. And a lot of times it puts the riders off too.
Yeah.
It used to be the pinstripe rails, the mafia rails, and oh my God, the mafia rails, and I can't get a good eye on it, can't get a good distance, but actually the horses saw them just fine. Yeah. It was the riders.
I will, yes, Carlin van Venhoff will explain why they're called mafia rails in a minute as well.
Okay.
For the Seabrook LLC, and this is Lacey with Carlin van Venhoff, a horse that she's had a superb run with. Superb through 5 stars the last few years as well, included onto Nations Cup into the early part of last year as well. She was second at the Invitational in Kentucky back into April of last year too. And again, have just been coming back into this top level. They've jumped a couple of the 4 stars so far.
Yeah, I think they've been doing quite well this season. And, you know, Lacey's another girl that has competed at a very high level here. There's that little white vertical again. I'm pretty sure if you look at the statistics, that's probably the bogey line, just that white vertical. It comes very early in the track. You jump a triple bar, and then it's just this very, very light white rail all the way up in the air. And I would have said Lacey got a good distance there, had a nice ride to it, and just not good enough for tonight. Very good over the wall. Got to kind of commit a little bit up to that double. Just let the horse maybe get a little bit close on that front bar. Now she's reset for this. Now she did the 9 there. If I was in this class for my horse, I would just kind of cut in on the 8 there a little bit, then land and really, really slow down for this triple combination. But the distance is not that short between those 2 verticals, but still a vertical, and you want to be able to ride out over the oxer.
Yeah, I mean 8 meters 30 to 8 meters 10 if you're going to be the technical person sitting here with the course building lineup, but that's the measurement. So yeah, as you say, it's not unusual.
It's not unusual. It's not cruelly short. You know, it's very, very doable. But what he does is he gives you big white oxer in a row before it, and he wants you to ride forward, leave that stride out, or like Lacey did, try and add it in and make a mistake, and then you have to turn left and get to that to those 2 verticals. So yeah, it's definitely a trick.
12 jumping one time there for Lacey Gilbertson and Colin van Venhoff, 81-83. Ansgar Holtjes Jr., 19 years of age, and well, it's been a big year for him. He's already notched up a Grand Prix win for those of you who were following over on the grass, back onto week 6 on Channon by Chaka Blue, was a horse that was rode through to the Olympic Games, and now again ably in Ansgar's hands, say with trainer Rene Tebel also competing here a little bit earlier on for him, but he notched up his first Grand Prix win back onto week 6. I'm sure he's still got some of that confidence bleeding through as well.
I'm sure he does. You know, confidence helps everyone, and he was very good that week. And he's currently second in the U25 standings. But he was very, very good that week 3. I think just again that white vertical just caught out this horse, and it's jumping nice and careful, studying the top rails quite well. Ansgar, little leg there on that wall. Oh. Just kind of got stuck between 2 distances to that wall, and thankfully the horse was able to work it out, and he just kept the support nice and kept it a little bit of leg and helped the horse out of it. Good. See that white oxer with the bushes underneath.
Yes.
Just
I'm not going to call it a hedge.
It's not a hedge, but it's not as simple. So now Oscar jumped in a little long into that. He was a little bit far off A going in, but I thought the horse reset nicely for B, and then just out over the oxer at C, just found it a little bit wide.
Finished on a score of 12, 78, 87, 12 there, Francisco Holches Jr. and Chanyon for them this time. Another look at this familiar line now.
Yeah. You'll see
just a little move as well.
Yeah.
To the right.
I think I'll go home and set that and school over. Go home.
I've got the measurements for you here.
Yeah. But you know, I also think so early in the course to have a line that careful, and it's quite big. You know, it's kind of set full height. So, will you give it the height?
Spinning that around though, if that line was, say, your latter line, do you think it would make a difference or not? I mean,
it's hard to say. It depends on your horse. I think some horses grow during the round and get a little bit sharper.
Yeah.
Some might get a little bit tired and a little less sharp. I just think it's quite a technical line to kind of start off as 2, 3, 4. I think if it was 5, 6, 7, it would ride considerably easier just because the horse would be a little more warmed up. Their eye would be a little more in tune under the lights.
Yeah. Rebecca Conway, Becky with Unistar, used some beak Z. Whoops, nearly on their beak there, and pulls it back up. Very well done. Finished top 10 in a Grand Prix up in Ocala just the other day. Just clips that rail again, just getting the balance back.
Yeah, I think the horse put himself off a little bit just when he landed there and just kind of tripped, stumbled for whatever reason. Very good. So now she got the 7 there and then set up in the 4. There you go. This is a difficult line. And some horses coming towards the in gate with the stones, I think they're getting an okay look at it. Horse is jumping quite careful. Just made a little mistake on that last line.
Again, for them, they've been coming through 2 and 3 stars. A step up here in the right time of the season to be doing it for them.
Big step up, though.
But now settled in.
Yeah, it's settled in. The horse is actually getting quite comfortable. I really, really do think that the horse just got a little bit nervous after that stumble. And they do. That's what they do. They're animals, so they can get a bit nervous.
Like you and I.
Yeah, I get nervous too. I even got nervous sitting here watching her doing a little bit. So she did the 8 strides between this. She slows the horse right down for this 2 verticals. Keep the leg. Heave a little bit for that back bar. And just the horse started to come off its line a little bit. Maybe Becky could have used a bit more leg. Quite good over the last.
Yep, leaves them on 12 and 5 for time, though. 85-64 for Rebecca Conway and Unistar. But again, I think she can take some good elements out of that.
She can, and she can use it as a growing experience, you know. And honestly, she can go into any 4-star in the world.
Yes.
Now after this, and it's going to feel easy.
Yeah.
She can even go into a 5-star and kind of feel ready after jumping a course like this. I really strongly believe that.
Yeah.
And I think the way the horse jumps some of those fences, she should feel very, very good about that.
Richard Vogel of Germany, the world number 9, and Cidello, also winner on the grass events here in Wellington. Back to the early part of the season. We were about week 2 when that was happening.
Yeah.
And Cidello, 10-year-old by Cascadello. And for those who've been following through the season, Richie needing very little introduction, but Geneva winner and, of course, 5-star winner this season as well with United Touch. But when I interviewed him back on about week 1 as part of WEF Weekly, he said this is the horse to look out for as well.
Yeah, this horse is just so fast.
Yeah.
I actually watched him win the Grand Prix earlier on this.
And he went to the last like you were putting your hands over your eyes.
Yeah, just flat out. And the horse is just so kind of sharp and put together and just really kind of saw what was going on. Now that horse just got a little disconnected.
Yeah.
Going from the triple bar to that vertical, and you'd almost say got a little bit green, even though this horse shouldn't because it's jumped enough this year, but almost just that skinny vertical got a little bit green because now the horse is settled down and starting to jump very correct again.
And again, I'm going to flip that around because bearing in mind he won his Grand Prix out on the grass in the middle of the day.
Yeah, exactly. So maybe this horse doesn't jump so much under the lights. Looks pretty convincing there to me, though. You know, it's a really, really nice quality type of horse. It's a 10-year-old, so you know it doesn't have crazy amount of experience, and you just love that kind of nice bouncy canter that the horse has. Really nice head carriage. He turned quite tight into that triple combination, made it look easy.
You see, finished so nicely.
Yeah. So I honestly think the horse kind of turned and almost got a little bit green. Just went a little bit left, right, and he did ask the horse to add a stride from the triple bar. You'll see it here now. There. And you can see the horse comes off its line a little bit, and it was like, oh, and it just got a little bit, I would say, maybe inverted, and it just a little bit green down that line. And it's like this. The horse made the mistake that time. I don't think that a horse like that's ever going to make a mistake.
And like I say, I think their success earlier on has come into the outdoor events. I'm going to say not under the lights, daytime events from that point of view. Gone very nicely in this arena as well, but not done a huge amount this season. So again, you're coming out of 9-year-old year into 10, few rounds underneath them. And you say there'll be more of that to come. Stack and 4 for the Equestrian now, and Spencer Britton, the Hanoverian by Spartacus. And again, featuring in the Grand Prix back here into the last part of 2023. Goes on the line back to For Pleasure as well. Great gold medalist horse too.
It's a real For Pleasure type, just with the collar and everything. And again, this would be a move up for Spencer. He's jumped plenty of big classes like this, but under the lights here, a Grand Prix this size, it's definitely been a while since he's jumped at this level. And
he doesn't get so many opportunities because he's only jumping the one horse, so he hasn't got as high up the rankings and all those
young
things.
Professional, he's trying to make his way in this business. And I have to say, a lot of respect for the Aman family. This is a wonderful horse, and it's very good of them to give him the ride on this horse. Very good owners. He rode that quite well. He's having a very good round so far. Nicely done. Line up this wall. Keep a little support and look in. That's enough. Sit up a little. Very good. And just don't forget your time allowed here. Look a little right over this. Good.
Yes.
You did the ad there. How are we doing for time allowed?
I think we're in squeaky territory, but we'll see. I was wrong earlier on, but
he's been playing it safe. Oh, little rub there, beautiful. Come on, Spencer, you got this.
81, 78, 79, 80.
Push.
Get your nose over, and it's not. 82.35. Just it's hard to say, but it just felt a long time getting to the last fence.
Yeah, and I think
that's
Spencer, this is a brilliant
wasn't the error, but yes.
Yeah. I really think he rode a fantastic round. What he did was he rode a very deliberate round. He really kind of put the horse right where it needed to be at every step of the way, and he really didn't take any risks. He rode a nice, conservative, safe round, which is the right thing to do tonight because there's only one other clear round. So,
and I will say that's probably one of the best rounds I've seen that horse jump.
Yeah, no, me too. And I have to say, Spencer really absolutely rode fantastic there, so well done to him.
Really good stuff. Roberto Turan and DSP Callas. For Roberto, top rider at the Pan Am Games last year as well, into the top 10 there, and that was with Desuk world number 61. Roberto with his German-bred mare by Kaskeni II. And for him, again, DSP Callas is really starting to back up Desuk from that point of view.
Yes.
For the Colombian.
It's nice to have, your support horses that can come in and jump the 4-star, and then you have your 5-star horses and your championship horses. And it's very important to have a string because you like to keep your world ranking up, and they have to pay some of the bills. And I personally find it's much easier to ride at the higher level when you're in the ring on a regular basis.
Yes. And that's what I would say about a couple. Roberto is not one of them, but a couple tonight, as we mentioned, and Spencer is one of those that, as I said, doesn't get the exposure in there. So he might jump in the early weeks here and then not jump again till now, and then not jump again till the spring.
Yeah, and he's got limited horsepower. He doesn't have a fleet of 10 horses, so I think it's important. And this horse is jumping very well for Roberto. It'd be anybody's number 1 horse, so I think he's quite lucky to have such a nice bunch of horses. And Roberto works hard, and he's
Yeah.
an extremely good trainer and rider. So, you know, he's the kind of guy you'd like to have a horse with. That was
He
unlucky.
was just looking a little steady to that.
Yeah, it's almost like he set the horse up, and then the horse just didn't re-engage to the wall. So, kind of hard to tell from this angle. Got that perfect there from those two. Now he wants to kind of reset the horse a little bit. You've got a nice long run round of this and reset the combination. A little bit long in there. He was just a little bit too far away. He could have been better paid now just to stay out for a second longer and just take a half halt on the way to that triple combination. Very good over the last fence.
It's going to be a total of 12, 79.26 for Roberto Teran and DSP Callis. Again, it's just very easy to roll up a score tonight. We've only got 2 on 4 faults. We've got the 1 on 2 time faults, which is Spencer Britton, and the 1 clear for Lucy Davis there at the wall.
Look, he got a nice distance in the end. You know, when you see it in the slow motion, it really didn't a whole lot go wrong. I think the horse really just misjudged it, and it's odd because the horse was jumping fantastic up to that, but the horses, they make mistakes sometimes. I would say just a little bit strong coming into that triple combination.
Well, it takes us to the halfway stage of this $215,000 Horseware Island 4-star Grand Prix tonight. One rider with a star next to their name, and that's Lucy Davis. And Ben for the Old Oak Group is our sole clear at the moment. And so, well, we're going to say we've got a long way to go because we're going into the rest of the draw, which is coming out of what happened in the WEF Challenge Cup earlier on this week as well. And so they'll go in reverse. There we go, just the one qualifier at the moment. But you've still got Harry Charles, you've still got Nicola Philippart, you've still got Kent Farrington, you've still got McLean Ward, you've still got Niall Nassau, you've still got Spencer Smith, Shane Sweetener, Margie Engel, Ashley Bott. I mean, the next group, I think this is going to totally change around.
I think so, and you very often see this in the seeded Grand Prix, where particularly when it's the horses that are on form this week, you know, they jumped well already this week, they're on form, the confidence is up. Should see more clear round. You don't always, but you should technically see more
you should
clear
in
round.
theory, exactly. And the last two, Kent Farrington and McLean Ward, both going to their Pan Am gold medal winning horses as well. So they've pulled out a big gun ready to go as well, which is really interesting.
Yes.
So that is what's coming up. We're going to be back in a few moments' time. One clear is on the board in this $215,000 Horseware Island St Patrick's Day weekend 4-star Grand Prix.
With NetJets, travel will always be personal. We do everything it takes to make every flight exceptional. Every single detail of your experience is personalized, just for you. As our standard is not just to meet our definition of perfection, it's to exceed yours.
You'll know Mars for our confectionery, but we're also the people behind Buckeye Nutrition and many horse and pet food brands. Our research has been responsible for breakthroughs in animal welfare. In fact, Mars has been part of the equestrian community for almost 90 years. We sponsor events like Kentucky and badminton, work with riders like Andrew Hoy, Lauren Nicholson, Ben Mayer. We even named one of our most famous brands after a horse. Mars Equestrian, building a better world for horses, pets, and people.
With NetJets, travel will always be personal. We do everything it takes to make every flight exceptional. Every single detail of your experience is personalized, just for you. As our standard is not just to meet our definition of perfection, it's to exceed yours.
Well, getting set for the second half of this Horseware Island $215,000 Grand Prix, and Andrew Bourne's alongside me. We're up in the commentary box, and we are. I should have bought a box. Andrew, from your point of view, one clear as we know at the moment. But I looked at what we've got coming up. We've got those coming in: Michael Duffy, Ashley Bond. We've got Shane Sweetnam. We've got Ken Farrington, McLean Ward. Aside from all of that, how and what do you think they've taken out of watching that first round? Or do you think some of them have actually just gone, I know I've got my plan, I'm just going to stay with it?
Well, I said that at the very beginning. I said some people are going to see people make mistakes over the in the first couple of jumps, and then going to start to rethink their plan. And then you saw people make more mistakes. And then as it went on, you saw more and more people kind of settle down and say, okay, no, I need to ride the plan that I set for myself. I need to set my own plan for my horse and just stick to it. I don't think, although Spencer had a time fall, I don't think the time allowed is that big of an issue for a more experienced horse and rider combination. But I think you still need to be aware of it.
Absolutely. And coming up with that lineup there, I mean, we saw some going close. Spencer Britton, as you mentioned, is one of them, just on the 2 times. So you've just got to stay a little bit on the time, but it is achievable.
It's achievable, but what's quite unusual about this track is there's not that many people on 4 falls.
No.
And there's not that many people. There's a lot more than 12 plus. And I think that's quite unusual at this level. But also you're looking at the seeded start list, so the people that are strong this week are coming after the break.
And what I would also say is when you walk out there, and we walked out there to walk this, obviously, and the way you watch it go, it's just little taps.
Yes,
it's very light stuff
extremely
out
careful.
There.
And like I've said before, I think that 3, 4, 5 line is quite aggressive, you know, as a course builder to set that early in the track. And then he lets you kind of coast around with a couple of questions, and then he has the triple combination, and then that really, really big wide oxer with the pastel colors at the end. I think that's causing a lot of trouble as well.
Shall I be the one to stick my neck out and say 5, 6 clears maybe still out of this?
I'd say you wouldn't be too wrong, to be honest, because we're seeing more experienced horse-rider combinations, and we're seeing the horses and riders that are stronger this week and in good form.
Okay, let's take a look down there. Shane Sweetnam, our Combella. Obviously, it's St Patrick's weekend.
Yeah, well, let's hope we see an Irish rider.
You'd want to see that. You know, you haven't had one for the last couple of years. I'm just saying. From that point of view,
same Michael Duffy.
Michael
as well.
Duffy.
Very good to see it.
Yep, going that way. Of course, Horseware Islands weekend as well. The Brits might shake it up with Harry Charles and Jess Mendoza.
Well, yeah.
From that point of view, Niall Nassar of Egypt, of course, was onto the podium just the other day as well. Jiminy Cricket though this time, different ride.
Yep.
Nicola Philipparts, Ken Farrington and McLean Ward to finish it off.
I think 3 very strong, and Mimi as well, you know, very strong there at the end. Like we said, horse and rider combinations that are on form right now. Harry Charles, I think, should be in for a kind of a quite good display with him. Emily Conter has been doing quite well and Niall as well this season, this winter. Spencer Smith we have there also. So I really think, and then of course at the end you've got Ken Farrington and McLean Ward closing it out. So two of the strongest riders with their top horses.
But interestingly, we've had a few of those in the last few weeks. We've gone, oh, we go into the strong group, and then they just go,
nope,
tap,
one
tap,
here,
tap, one here, one there. You know, Ben Mayer, Ken Farrington just the other day, we thought, oh, you know, they should be nailed on.
Last week, same thing. You know, you had a couple of really strong ones at the end. And
nothing's nailed on. That's the simple answer.
No.
Now, I was going to ask you way back, because I hadn't forgotten, you were talking about sports psychology.
Yes.
What have you been doing with your mind?
With my mind.
With your Jedi mind tricks?
Yes. I suppose back in the day, you would kind of go and grab a hold of the reins and play chicken with the fence, and off you go, and just kind of hope for the best.
Yeah.
What I'm personally starting to realize, and what a lot of people are starting to realize, is the level of this sport is getting so complex and so technical that your mind and your mental preparedness is actually playing a much bigger and bigger role. We're also riding horses that are very sensitive now and a little less forgiving. As the horses get sharper and faster, it's a little like Formula 1 cars.
Well, it's getting in Formula 1 cars, exactly.
Yeah, as they improve, they get less and less forgiving towards the driver, and we don't have technology there that'll help us correct our mistakes. So,
and if you make that comparison, as anyone will tell you, and I've seen plenty of videos of it, and my brother actually drives racing cars. You go and get in a Formula 1 car and think you can drive it because you can drive a car.
No
you can't.
No chance. Same thing. You get on one of these horses. You think just because you can ride even around a 110 or a 115 track, you get on one of these horses.
Yeah.
They will make a fool out of you before you know what hits you. They're so sharp. They're very unforgiving and very, very aggressive. So, and your mind needs to be prepared.
So moving on from that, why is your mind now prepared?
Well, I'm working very closely with the mental coach, Annette.
Yeah.
Patrika's from Holland.
I know exactly who you mean, yes.
Yeah, and she actually came here a few weeks ago and helped me. And it has improved my game quite a bit, I would like to think.
And someone like McLean Ward has talked about the work he did with Bob Rotella.
Bob Rotella, exactly.
Who's worked with some of the best sportsmen and women in the world.
Absolutely.
You know, and various others. And there are several people here that are involved in that as well.
And a lot of it seems quite simple, but it's just the fact that to get it into your routine and really get it into your everyday working. And that's one of the main things I'm learning is I can't just show up for the class now and be sharp. I have to be sharp all day, every day. You know, I have to make sure that every detail of my life, every detail of my team horses is all done right. And that I show up every single day, not just on the day of the Grand Prix.
Absolutely, and obviously that applies to everything. I can tell you that we do that with TV, etc. You've got to have it in your head and going. Michaela Langmeier hopefully has all this into the spot between the two elements of her helmet there, and is all set to go. Michaela Langmeier and Linda Langmeier's Giselle NS for the 24-year-old on this touch pro mare by Balou Doré. And Michaela again has been getting some exposure into the bigger classes here. She's making the step up more and more into the big leagues here. Couple of horses to go to for her now, which is good to see at this level.
It's impressive at her age, you know, to have built up a string like this. Her mom, Linda, and her dad, Kenny, are both horse professionals, so there's no doubt there's an advantage to growing up in a horse professional family. You know, you have that connection with the horse, and you kind of grow up putting the horse first, and it's definitely an advantage in some rights. I have to say, Michaela's done a very good job because she's taken this nice string of horses and she's actually put up some good results so far.
Well, and this pair was second in the 4-star Grand Prix here back in December, early December from that point of view. Again, different conditions.
Yes.
Somewhat less buzzy, less crowd, all that sort of stuff. But
yeah,
it's a good
and
preparation.
a little less low key back then. Yeah. And but tonight she's actually doing quite well. You know, that's an unlucky rail. Also, it's quite hot tonight. You know, it's a little bit. You can see the horses are getting a bit sweaty. It's starting to get closer to the Florida summer here. So, the fitness of the horse comes in, but her horse looks quite fit there. There we go. You know, there's someone who has a pretty tried and tested record at this level, having 16 falls. You know, it's a testament to how hard this class is tonight and how tough this track is.
But again, really interesting. It's been. You talk about preparation and course design is the same thing from their point of view. You know, they've been focused on this. They've been consulting. Oscar's there, but he's also got a terrific group around him as well.
Guilherme said to me once, we talked about a course he set for the Rolex for the $500,000 Grand Prix at the end. And he said, I've actually been working on this course for about a year.
Yes.
So he spent a whole year tweaking it, changing it, look who's going to be in it, change a couple of things around. I thought that was incredible. There's so much thought process goes into these courses.
He was sat this afternoon discussing it with Anthony D'Ambrosio up there, and they've got some, good group of course designers here to start going ahead, and that's 2 weeks away again.
Yeah, and they have a panel, and they bounce ideas, which I think, again, what we're starting to see are these brilliant courses that set the stage for some fantastic competitions here.
Alison Robitaille
strong there.
So
now she wanted to do the ad there, and it just got a little bit rough on her, and that's the risk of, she knew that that's what she wanted for her horse. And it is a risk that it can backfire on you sometimes, because that is a fantastically jumping horse. I think that's enough for Alison for tonight.
Yeah, she's going to raise her hand. She has lots of experience. She's won all over the world, and unfortunately, as she knows, it's not happening tonight. So just puts up the hand with Dagny. 10-year-old mare.
You can see there that those distances just did not show up the way she wanted them, and it just all got a little bit disconnected.
Michael Duffy now, and the Irishman with RMF Clinton's son for the Rushy Marsh Farm. New ride for him. He's been out here for the last few weeks riding this horse by Clinton as well, but if anyone can, Michael can.
Yeah, Michael's a very accomplished rider at this level, and a great team there at Rushy Marsh Farm with Helena and all his
absolutely the McCourt's
trainers, the McCourt's family as well. Very, very supportive, and I think I'm excited to see what Michael can do with this.
Yeah, Michael well established at the 5-star level back over in Europe as well. And now says he's going to be really testing the buttons here to see how this all comes together. Comes from a wonderful family that have got a great history right the way from grandfather, in fact, who was a top course designer as well. You'd be able to tell the stories better than I would.
Yeah, and his dad was a super rider as well. When I grew up as a kid, his dad was one of my heroes. One of the top Grand Prix riders on the Irish circuit. So the horse has gone a little
just
bit
backing off.
On there, because we both grew up in Galway, County Galway in Ireland. So our families would have been close back.
Yeah.
Okay, he's a slightly different generation to me, but we would have grown up going to the same shows, seeing each other quite regularly.
Now, for him, really, he wants to just start getting things going in a forward direction.
Yeah, and you can just see that even on his approach to the first fence, which is something I haven't mentioned before because it hasn't really caused an issue, but the first fence is angled away from those light-up signs. You can see it quite clearly in this shot where the WEF is. And if a horse is not used to this arena under the lights with those light-up signs, as this horse isn't, it's definitely going to cause you a little bit of hassle. And all it did, it just put the horse off enough that it got a little bit careful on the first, second, third fence. And I think Michael was kind of smart, saved the horse for another day, go back, regroup.
And like I said there, it was a little bit of let's find and see
yes.
at this point for them.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
Finding out too is Ashley Bond, world number 59, and the Israeli are at this time with El Khalil Pom, not with Donatello as we'd normally expect, but she's got a good string of horses that are coming through. And this 10-year-old by Cartoon Z is the mare that's going to get a good opportunity tonight. It'll ride up to the wall to have a look. Aurora Farms and Ashley Bond show jumping. Now, 10-year-old.
You'll notice she doesn't have a noseband on the horse, which is unusual as well.
No, she doesn't, does she?
Yeah.
No.
So Ashley is just on a whole other level with her horsemanship and her connection with the horses. And you don't realize it until you actually have her come and try horses with you and you put her up on one of your own horses and just see how well she gets on with them. It's unbelievable. And one day she was trying a horse with me, and I looked at her dad. I said, her dad, I said,
yes.
How is she doing it? And he looked at me and said, just don't think about it too much. You'll just do your head. She just has that way, you know, and she's able to ride a horse with no noseband on that big bit there and just have the control on it, you know.
And a horse she's actually had since 2022, so they've had a good experience together. But again, this has been their first season really shifting into this, and actually came into the 5-star week nicely the other day. Okay, one that what we would class as the warm-up class, but a good one to get them and under their belt from that point of view and get in the groove, and then has produced some good clears.
Yeah, and she just nailed that difficult line.
Yeah.
And then had the plank down.
Just
there
travels.
So I possibly jinxed her, but I just thought she kind of rode it exactly how it suited this horse and what she should have done. She gave the horse a look at that wall when she came in, but it actually got a little bit deep on it in the end. And then she had to override the 6. You know, that's where you're looking for the rhythm and the connection in the whole round. That, you know, when you have to correct a little mistake like that, it just gets a little bit disconnected. Horse got a little bit jumpy on her there. Steady now, reset a little bit for this triple combination. Sit up. Very good through the combination. And there you see it, like a relatively experienced, careful horse was able to get a good lock on that last fence, and she could really ride at it. And you can see Ashley there; she's delighted with her horse.
Finishes on 8 in the end for Ashley Bond. Here we see it turn back to the planks.
I really don't think she deserved to have that one.
No.
Yeah, maybe she was planning for this long 5 after, possibly, and just kind of legged a little in the air. It's hard to really say. Horse definitely jumped quite high over the wall, and she had to just ride up a little in that 6. And then the horse, a little bit behind there. That was really kind of 2 unlucky rails.
Jorge Mats Captivia now, the horse he rode at the Pan Am Games last year. It is winning good. Of course, that was on home ground for him in Chile, in Santiago. Super combination. They've been together for quite some time now by Winning Mood. And also, of course, was with us on Nations Cup week there as well to have some good results there too, and have just been nicely trending in the right direction.
Yes, and you know, just kind of getting some good experience here, putting down some good rounds under the lights and stuff like that, and actually kind of growing as a pair.
Oh, now that was a surprise.
Yeah. I just see he has the mask, the Batman mask on the horse.
Well,
maybe he's just
I don't know, but some joker came out of that.
Yeah, something came out there. The horse didn't like it. So this is hard. Now, you know, that's quite upsetting for the horse and rider. He's got a long way to go round now. Horse is jumping quite well. But it's a high-scoring class, so, you know, he's going to keep going. He could still get a piece. He only has 4 falls. Now, it's going to be hard to get inside the time allowed.
But from his point of view as well, you want to actually come out with a good experience. As you say,
exactly.
Just ducked out there and go, no, we can do this. We're going to prove we can do this.
No, that wasn't necessary. Now, come on, let's go.
Yeah.
And I think the horse is kind of settling now and focusing for him, which is just exactly what he wanted.
And you've got to assess it each time yourself, and you'll know it.
Absolutely.
Whether to keep going or say,
and
adios.
You go with your gut as well. You know, if you really, really feel that you're only going to get in more trouble for the rest of the round, you call it a day and go home. You don't want to do your dirty laundry in public. I think the horse looked at that bush actually when he came to fence number 2, because he took a look at it again that time. So I think Jorge needs to go home and get a couple of bushes from his local
Go down to the nursery.
Hardware, down to the nursery and buy a few bushes and put them underneath the fence.
Jorge Matt Captivia and Winning Good, 8 jumping and 12 for time, 92.20 for the Chilean. But yeah, we
actually
may
a
be
good round in the end. You know, he really kind of pulled the horse together and said, no, come on, here we'll have a look.
1 up to 2, and again seemed to be coming down
Lined
nicely
it up.
here.
Okay,
nice and balanced.
he is disunited though. I just wondered, did the horse put his eye a little bit, and he needed to get his lead as well. I don't care what you say. I go back to my, classical stick to the fundamentals route, and the horse was disunited the whole way up there. He just needed to get either you get on the right lead or the wrong lead, but it's just as hard unless the horse is really used to going on that disunited stride. It can be hard for them.
Jessica Mendoza and with the combination of ICAP CLZ for the British rider, also due to be on the teams next week in Ocala for the British squad. Past European Championship rider. I'm special to won a long list of classes now in the United States, where she's been based for a good few years now.
Yeah, very successful combination. These guys will be just getting ready for next week for the League of Nations, Nations Cup. This is a really nice lead in because it's going to get it's big enough. And it's technical enough that if Jess doesn't bring her A game tonight, she's not going to get a clear round. And so far, it's looking pretty tight. That's good. And so she wants a good setup for the Nations Cup for next week, so she can go and represent well. And on the 6 a little, jump that. So you can see the experienced horse there. The Liverpool at B didn't really make a difference to him at all. She got the 8 there. I think maybe she overrode that 8 a little bit. Just got to reset the horse now. Steady him down. Oh. Good. Oh, and a little rattle on the last, but she got not a bad round at all, though. I think Jess should be very, very happy with that.
She's actually going to go into third at 78.15, top 3 for Jess Mendoza.
Get a paycheck. So she thought this 8 strides was going to ride super, super long, so she kind of went at it. And then the horse just got at that front bar a little bit. I wonder if she just kind of stayed out and gapped him a little bit at that. He might have had a better shot. But that's kind of how she rides those bending lines. I guess that's what suits the horse. Good round, though. Horse jumped super.
Chris Jonowski now polo jumps Condor de Val-de-Cie, the French bred, gelding by Quite Easy. Chris with good runs in the likes of Kentucky before now as well. Again, be interested to see from this pair. Again, they've had a little bit of an up and down season, but can produce some very good rounds out of it.
Yeah, this will be a big move up for him.
Yeah.
But I think he's well capable of it.
Yeah,
for
it's
sure.
been a lot of 2 stars so far.
Yeah, absolutely. And good experienced rider. He's got plenty of experience, the 2 and 3 star level, and I think this will be interesting. Big scopy jump over number 1. So that horse just took a little look. So Chris would want to kind of ramp it up a little bit now and say, come on, this is a difficult line coming up. Get in front of my leg. There we go. Lined up that. He added the stride there. Very, very good down that line. So Chris nailed that line. Roll back on this careful plank. Little gap. Very good. Forward in the 5. Oh, big scopy jump over there over the net jets. So I think he'll be okay for his time allowed, but he just and he stalled a little.
Yes.
Actually ended up adding the stride there. Got it done. Very nice. Very good. So there you go. There's a horse kind of threw him a curveball, and he just adapted right away and did the right thing for the horse. Got the forward distance there now. He's going to run a really reset for this triple combination and risk the timeline. Oh. Little long in. That one stride. Oh, little rattle there.
Yeah, it was just catching up with him down that line, wasn't it?
Just. Oh.
Oof.
And he saw the 7-2 to the last. That's the second person now tonight that we've seen saw the Hail Mary to the last. And you've really got to kind of get out of that triple combination land. Take a breath. Okay, and just stay chilly on that 8 strides all the way home. Not that it's short, but you've just got to stick to it.
I think he was in trouble for time because he was 81.80, so he was over the time allowed here. But as you say, this all connects.
Yeah.
Here he sort of swings in.
He just came in a little bit brave into this triple combination. I just wonder if he came in and set the horse up a little more for those 2 verticals. And yeah, he saw the 7 to the last. It's not there. Good boy. Very good horse there in the end, actually. Really, and it's a shame because he absolutely rode a baller of a round up to that. So
yeah,
good job.
Shane Sweetenham now, and for the world number 11, this is R.R. Cornbella, the horse he rode to the win on the Nations Cup team back a couple of weeks ago here in Wellington. Also to the Grand Prix win in San Miguel de Allende down in Mexico to last October. Very nicely indeed for Shane. Again, we talked about there the backup, the solidity of a team, and he's got this, and Otis Blue, aside from James Cancruz and a couple of others to be able to go.
So he has James Cancruz at the top of the pyramid, and then he's got his whole support team of horses. So
yeah, it's probably
basically
3 or 4.
Yeah, and Shane can stay in the ring competing at this high level. So even though James wants to take a little, or Gizmo wants to take a little bit of a break, and they want to save him for some of the bigger classes, Shane is still in the ring. His eye is still in. He's still riding these big classes and staying competitive.
And that's what I was saying. If you're like Spencer was, he's got one horse at that level. You've got to sit it out, and you've got to gnash your teeth.
So what Spencer has to do is he has to aspire to get to point, and so do I. So does any rider really that wants to compete at a level, at this high level. He has to aspire to get to where Shane is, where he has that team. He has the people behind him supporting him, buying him horses, and it's very, very important. You cannot do it without them. So now Shane landed in there, knew he was going to be a little bit off in that 8 stride, so straight away he reacted. Now he's steadying the horse down. Watch this. Easy. Slowed the horse right down for the triple combination. Oh. And he still had it. So there you go. You think you're doing it all right. And then the last sentence. I really don't think Shane deserved to have that last part.
He was going to have one time for this as well, 81.26. Just 4 jumping one time for Shane Sweetenham and R.R. Cornbella.
So something interesting is happening now. We're starting to see the time come into it a little bit more.
Yeah, because they were achieving it. Okay, it was tough, but they were achieving it.
It was tough, but they were getting inside the time allowed. You know, apart from Spencer, we didn't really call the time allowed as being an issue.
Yeah.
Now what the riders are starting to do is say, look, guys, this is a really careful course, and at some points you got to slow the horse down.
I need a bit more space.
You need a bit more space. You need to take a little more time, and now the time allowed is an issue. And again, that's just technicality. That's where the course builder comes in.
Spencer Smith now for the Ashton Farms with HHS at Seattle on this Irish bred ride by Pacino. Now, if I remember, Spencer was a past winner of this Grand Prix.
Yes,
actually.
He was,
it was won with 1 clear round.
Yes, it was. I remember that.
Theodore,
it was one of his first big wins, actually.
Yeah, I think that was still Theodore Monseillet in that ilk, but early on in their career.
Yeah.
He's won the likes of Global Champions Tour Grand Prix in Samarin since then, and a list of very good results. Come very well with Keeneland, a different horse here in the last few weeks as well.
This is a fabulously Irish-bred horse.
I was going to let you tell the story because
so
HHS.
The dam line is Cavalier Royale.
Yeah.
And then HHS, so that's Marion Hughes and Miguel Bravo. So, you know, a really fantastic operation there in Ireland. And then it's by Pacino. Pacino, I was actually on a few Nations Cups team with Pacino back in 2012 with Clem McMahon. And he was only 8, and I must say he was one of the most impressive 8-year-olds I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah, I remember.
And, you know, Clement did a very, very good job of producing him. He was wonderful. And then we actually lost the horse quite tragically in the end. And it was actually a very sad day because the horse had such a bright future in front of him. So very nice to see the progeny go on so well. And they really, really have. There's quite a few. If you look at the Irish bred horses, there's quite a few very good Pacinos. Pacino Amero is a perfect example. And, you know, big, scopy, brave, really, really nice types. Just what a good Irish horse should be.
Right, now we've had the advertising for Irish sport horse.
Yes.
Unfortunately, the Horseware Island fence down. 2 down at the moment for him. But again, you know, 11 years of age. Okay, this had a little bit more exposure last year.
I think given the night that's in it, it's really not a bad round.
And hasn't done an awful lot this season yet.
And I think you're going to see some big things from this horse and this rider combination in the future. So very nice to see.
12 it is there, and still holding at the one clear with Lucy Davis and Ben at this point.
We're getting a bit tight for your 5 or 6 clears.
Oh, ye of little faith. Sorry, how many did I say?
Yeah, two or 3 or 4.
Yeah.
So, although I must say the strongest, there's some very, very strong people yet to come.
Yeah. I'm going to hold at my 5. I know I said 5, 6. I'm going 5.
We'll believe.
Niall Nasser now and the Evergate Stables Jiminy Cricket on this gelding. The Westphalian by Colestus, which was the very good horse. Also ridden by Ludger Beerbaum. And for those following, saw Niall into top positions just in the last couple of weeks. Of course, he was onto the podium, second into that 5-star Grand Prix as well, behind Luciano Losio. Week night. Was that last week?
That was last week.
Was that last week?
Yeah.
Gosh.
He was fantastic last week. It was such an amazing result.
Yeah, this week has been the longest month. Oh.
Yeah. And I think, Niall, another really good example of having just a nice team of horses, great team of people behind him as well. And, just it's all done right for the horse. And you can see... So there you see the experience with the horse and rider. Niall just knew exactly how his horse wanted to go down that line. He just delivered him right where he wanted to be. Good on the 5 strides. Got a little rub on the back bar of the net jets Oxer. That should help him out a little bit. Wall. Good on the 6 strides. Sit up a little for that Liverpool. On the WAF, he'll probably look in at, so he was planning to do the 8 there, and it just possibly looked a little right in the air, and really I did not see that coming from the horse, the way the horse was jumping. Did not expect that to happen. Perfect through the combination. Just hold it together nicely on that last fence. Super jump over the left. I really don't think they deserved to have that one down there. That was an excellent round.
Well, we'll be in the money because they go into 5th place on the 4 faults at 80.22 for Jiminy Cricket and Niall Nasser, but...
I really don't see it. Okay, that's a very, very tall Oxer, and it's light. There's little or no material in it. But still, it hasn't given that much trouble tonight.
Yeah.
And really, I'm a bit stumped on that one.
And to be honest, I mean, it's 155, but it's actually narrowed up. It's narrowed up to 120.
Yeah. And
but they sort of sat on top of it.
Yeah, I thought he jumped the double before it extremely well. And yeah, I definitely didn't see that one coming.
Emily Conter for the Steffex Stables. Trixie Z is the mare by Tobago Z, which is actually the Steffex Stables. Very good stallion that was ridden by Daniel Deusser, of course, to many successes. And now for Emily, several seasons behind her here in Wellington now, with her and sister Zoe.
Yeah, 10-year-old horse. Good start over number 1. Nice kind of regular, nice to see there the horse and rider very much in agreement as to what the distance should be from 1 to 2. Very good. Well, there you go. So she just kind of went on the slightly more forward distance there to that vertical, and the horse just didn't get a lock on that top rail. And the horse has been jumping super up to now. Very, very good ride to that. Nice on the net jets. Girl Emily, so far a good strong round. Little leg on the wall and looking on this 6. Super. Very, very well done. So here's a horse really, really jumping on its top form. Rider, she's riding on her top form. Just unlucky, the horse just didn't get the eye on that top rail of the vertical. Super ride over those 2 Oxers. Reset now a little bit for this triple. Good. Little rub over A, B, C. Good. And really regular. So to me, that looked like a rider that was really mentally prepared for this course.
Yes.
And, really got that. Okay. one mistake on that very careful vertical, but everywhere else she was right where the horse wanted her to be. She was right where she needed to be on every one of those lines. Set it up there. You would say this should be perfect, and he just didn't see the top rail just enough. Still a good result, I think, for her, and an excellent round.
Yeah, no, it was a very good round. Goes into fourth place at the moment for Emily Conter on the 4 there, 79.54. Jess Mendoza just ahead of that on ICAP CLZ. Like you said, with Jess's round, she was going to be in the money, certainly looking that way. Lucy Davis on the clear, and Spencer Britton so close on the 2 time. Ashley Vogel now, Namaste, and former rider of Shane Sweetnam, who she trains with, and they've got a number of horses together as well. And Ashley, former winner of the U25 series here in Wellington too. Of course, the final of that comes up tomorrow afternoon. You can join us for that as well.
That'll be an exciting class.
Yeah. Top 30 throughout the season have been, well, it's been whittled down to 30.
Down to 30, yeah. It started off with a lot of hopefuls.
Yes.
Ashley's off to a good start here. Horse is jumping nice for her. Nice and square here. She did the steady distance there, and she had it done. I think in Wellington you're going to see that line being set in a few people's different arenas. And they're going to get out and practice it and see how we could do it better. Because I thought she just suited herself just nicely there, kind of stayed out, little steady, set the horse up, and it just didn't come off for her. Good ride to the wall. Oh, she had a break off the top of the wall. It's unusual to see the wall given that much trouble as well. There's the Liverpool coming out of the double. I really thought that would have given more trouble. It only kind of gave trouble at the start of the class. But once the kind of horses and riders got confident on it, perfect ride for those 2 oxers. Set it up. And we saw Shane ride this perfectly earlier, her trainer. So let's hope she does it. Oh, and she nailed it. Well done. So again, a well executed round there. Just see, jumps are big tonight. It's riding maybe a little more difficult than people expected for a 4-star.
Yeah, finishes on 16 there for Ashley Vogel and Namaste. You were walking the course. Well, we were both walking the course. What did you gauge from the other riders walking it? Were they feeling it was quite as tough as? I mean, again, it depends what you were coming out on tonight.
Yeah, it's like the old joke when the old British naval captain said, "Bring me my red shirt." Why do you want your red shirt? Because if I get shot, my men don't see that I've been shot. And it says, there's 30 chips on the horizon. Bring me my brown pants. There's a few riders had that sentiment when they were walking the course.
Well, they're still white at the moment for a few. Still white for a few, and definitely for Elise Oaken and the High Hopes Farms, Bonhomme Richard.
Put it this way, the course walked strong. It walked technical. I don't think, for me, there was no surprises in this, but there was going to be very few clear rounds.
Yeah.
If I walked this course for a 5-star, I would have said, yeah, there's going to be a few, but not that many clear rounds. And then for a 4-star, I think it's stronger maybe than what people expected, and more technical. And you see a lot of options, and that's what I said at the start. You know, a lot of people had to make decisions and suit their own horse to what works best for them and their horse. And that's a little bit where people are, you know, that careful vertical, then the optical illusion.
But again, she got just coming off that triple bar. She was just a little bit flatter on the top of that, just catching
a little bit, and the horse just never really got back. Now, this is a beautiful horse. It's really nice type. But you know, if you were to be critical, maybe just got at the vertical just a small bit. And at least he rides so well. Oh, that's lovely. Now, that horse, and it's not the first horse tonight that's done that, they're hanging a little bit over that wall, and then the riders are having to move them up at the double, and you can see the kind of the very quality, experienced horses are still able to jump it quite careful and quite clean when they get there. They'll reset now for the triple combination. And I think, so now the riders are starting to figure out you really have to slow down. You have to jump those 2 oxers, and you have to risk the time allowed, and just steady for that last line a little bit, so you can jump the 2 verticals, leg on the oxer, and then just stay on that kind of motivated, put together stride, 8 strides to the last fence. that was unlucky too. He just almost caught that one with his belly guard a little bit. Good round though. Super jump over that. And you can see the bushes underneath that white ox are just putting them off a little bit.
Harry Charles of Great Britain, the world number 13, and Aralyn Blue for Harry, again also on the team next week for the British in Ocala. He's been here for a couple of weeks now, first time here. His father actually won a lot of classes here, same with Anne Thompson and his father Peter Charles, and very good American owner of a number of horses with them.
Yeah.
And it'd be really interesting to see how Harry copes with this one. He got his first night under the lights in the 5-star last week.
Be very interested to see what he does. You just see Harry, he's just on such a high level of riding. His precision, again, if you want to talk about mental game, you know, for such a young kid, he really has it put together. He has more experience just in his few years riding at this level than most riders will ever get in their life. And it shows a lot of the time. He's able to be just in the right position, the right amount of pressure at the right time for the horses. And of course, when your dad is Peter Charles, you know, you've got that guidance there and that tuition there. It's just second to none. So really quite impressive.
And Pete will have been standing digesting what they've done so far. Let Harry get on with the riding there and give the instruction.
Yeah, exactly. And you know, Pete would have been able to decipher what issues are going to apply to Harry and to this horse and what don't, you know, and what mistakes are really not going to show up. And this is a very, very quality scopy horse. So, you know, the horse doesn't look under pressure in any way. Now, you can see Harry rode forward for those two oxers, and he really set the horse up for this triple combination and slowed it down a little bit. So he was able to ride it correctly.
Now chasing. Oh!
Now, he obviously wasn't listening to my commentary. I told him the 7 is not there. You don't need to do the 7 strides.
Harry, we tried.
We tried. Was he a little tight on the time allowed?
He 77.48. He was getting there, but he could have dropped an extra stride in.
I think he could have put an extra stride in there because he set up that triple combination so well and just showed his class there and his experience. Now maybe his plan was, you can see him look in here, and right now he's
4, 5, 6, 7.
You know, he got it. He got it. I still don't think it was the right decision, but he definitely got it.
It's old Captain Hindsight is perfect. But you know, you look back and go, well, actually, you could have gone out, got the 8, and you'd have had time.
We're great hurlers in the ditch here. Tell everybody what they should have done.
I know it's Horseware Island night, but we've got to understand. The rest of the world's got to understand the Irish races.
Oh, sorry. Yeah. So hurling is a team sport comparable to hockey, but played on grass.
Well, no, it's not. It's comparable to just group fighting from everything I've seen.
It's kind of a mix between hockey and MMA fighting.
A mix between hockey and a riot.
And a riot.
Mimi Gotchman and Cosmos BH for the Gotchman Sport Horses of here in Wellington. Fabulous run that she's had through young riders. They're really nicely training with Dara Kenny of Ireland these days as well.
Super ride there. Now, again, you know, you talk about mental preparedness. What Mimi might lack in her experience over some of the riders, and that she brings in just such a cool head on her shoulders and just such precision to her thinking and to her riding. You know, just having a big flashy scopy horse and hoping for the best, it doesn't cut it anymore. You just have to be so precise, and I think Mimi really tonight is just bringing a whole other level to this course. You know, she knows exactly what she wants. I'm sure Dara has helped her infinitely with the plan and what she's to do, but she still has to go in there and execute it. And I think
so far,
I don't want to jinx her. Steady now. Easy now. Up.
Yeah, up. Go on.
Good. Oh. So maybe an extra check there to the last, but I really, you have to be so impressed with how she rode that whole round and just went in there with such a clear intention. She was just in the right place. Again, we've seen the last couple of riders that got it right in that triple combination just went out. They risked the time allowed, yes, but they just took an extra second to get to it.
And I mean, getting out to that combination, you're 160 spread coming out there, so you've got to have a good bit of push off the ground.
You know, what you have to understand, if you come in a little strong with these careful horses, they're going to apply the brakes themselves a little. They're going to reset themselves a little on the two verticals. and then that's going to leave you a little too much to do on the oxer. Whereas if you come in, I thought Shane rode it well, steady on the verticals, and then you can help the horse and apply a little more leg coming out. Okay, these guys should know what they're doing.
Nicola Philipparts, Kent Farrington and McLean Ward still left to go. Derby to Riverland. Of course, we've seen him in a number of the 5-star Grand Prix with Katanga, but Derby again went very well out on the field just a few weeks ago. And for him, I think this is one that could really, and I've been saying this all week, just be right on the nose for getting in class.
And I really think they're strong. Now, he really reset for this vertical. So one would say he almost overrode that vertical, but it's the right thing to do. You've seen a lot of people make mistakes on it. And I think he did it beautifully. It's quite tight back on that, and now he's got to ride a little forward. But there you see he's got that extra quality, that extra stride in his horse. He just pressed the button and the 5 strides happen. Good on the wall. Set up the 6 nicely. Horse didn't even bat an eyelid. This horse is jumping really exceptional. So you can see these are definitely one of the stronger kind of pair coming in here tonight. Let's hope he's been listening and just takes a little second here. So now he comes a little direct and reset there at the last minute, but still got it done. And leg out. Very good.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Looks like he got the 8. He got the fence.
Beautifully done.
And it is going to be 76.88. Nicola Philipparts, Derby to
Let's see
Riverland.
that last line to the last fence again one more time. I lost my count there. I just want to know, did he actually get the 7? The way the horse was going, he almost could have.
He almost could have done. I wasn't quite sure either. I was just trying to get that round there. But regardless, what we're worried about, we are going to have a jump off because it's Nicola Philipparts and Lucy Davis and Ben.
You can see in that video just the way he rode that vertical. He kind of landed from the triple bar. He got the horse out. Yeah, looks like he would have got the 7 to the last there. I'll have to re-watch that myself later on, but I have to say he absolutely nailed it.
So, here into the meat of it. Kent Farrington and Landon, the horse he rode to win team gold and individual silver at the Pan Am Games back at Santiago. That was in November. Comme il faut plus, the sire of this, taking down the lines of Comme il faut, which was ridden by Marcus Enning so brilliantly. Wonderful combination here in this horse. Kent Farrington, McLean Ward, last 2 to go. So we are in for a jump off. Not a big one, but a good showdown.
Yeah, good showdown. 2 good horse rider combinations. I think it'll be really exciting. If we could add these last 2 to it, it would really kind of make the whole night. Oof, look at that. There you go. Now he went the 7 strides there. And it would look for all intents and purposes, he did everything perfectly. He set the horse up. And the horse, again, just didn't get the lock on it. And I just wonder with Nicola, the way he rode it, he kind of roughed the horse up and kind of really, really reset the horse. But then at that point, you're overriding the line. Oh
no.
And that's that wall. And when I walked the course, maybe it's the positioning of it and the angle that you come at it.
One of the comments I had with a couple of people about it, it's a long run up to it.
It's a long run up to it.
It's a bigger area of open space.
And it's not a rollback either. It's a very kind of bland, kind of sweeping turn to it. And it's stuck up in the corner there a little bit. And you have a hard double straight away after it. So definitely not something I really, really noticed, because most of the horses at this level, they've jumped a wall at this height. They've jumped stuff under the lights. You would expect a green horse to give trouble like that, but yeah, it just the angle or something, it just didn't come off.
Either way, Kent and Landon getting stuck back in here.
Good ride to that triple. Super. Oh. Stayed out in the 8 a little. Perfect.
It's going to leave them with time to add there as well for Kent Farrington and Landon, but really just unravels in one place.
Yeah, it really was just that wall. Okay, he had the vertical down, which it's really the bogey fence for the whole class. You can see the horse just kind of got his eye on the outside of the crowd a little bit and was just like, are you really sure you want to do that?
Doesn't want to go down Worth Avenue.
No. That's the Worth Avenue wall.
Yeah.
Yeah. Didn't like the tropical scene at the end.
Nope. There early on, it's a rail that's been had by so many. But
yeah. It's hard to tell because we've seen everybody ride it every different way, and it's worked for some people and it has not worked for others, even though they really looked like they rode it perfectly well.
Final combination to go, McLean Ward to the Beechwood Stables, Contagious, and the horse he rode, the Olympic Games, the horse he rode to Team Gold, the Pan Ams, individual bronze. No experience lacking here from this 15-year-old.
No, and at this level, this pair should be very, very comfortable. So it's just interesting to see what they do it. So he steadied, pop that, excellent. So for me personally, that would be the way that I would ride that line, and then try and make my time up elsewhere. You know, the rollback here, you can be quite tight because it's a tall, careful vertical. Got the 5 strides there, very good. It's going to stay out, square onto this a little. No problem there. But you also want to jump that wall in a way that sets you up for the double, so you don't make the double too hard to ride either. So you want to make that, have that nice kind of 6 strides.
Gets a little bit deeper there.
Still, you see that kind of experience in the scope. The horse is still able to get to the next fence. He's taking a little direct and steady. Oh. Good
Get
ride
across
through
it,
there.
yeah.
He doesn't want to get time fall.
He's not going to.
If he doesn't, yeah.
He's not going to. There are 3 into the jump off. McLean Ward's going to go last with Contagious. Nicola Philipparts will go with Derby to Riverlands. Lucy Davis with Ben. It's a select group, but it's an exciting group.
Exciting group. You've got Lucy with plenty of experience at this level, and Ben with a lot, maybe separately from each other, but still both horse and rider combination.
Yeah.
Very accomplished at this level. You've got Nicola, who's extremely accomplished at this level and higher, and of course McLean Ward with Contagious. I would say no surprise there, but given the night that's in it, anything could have happened.
Yeah, McLean just getting his breath back there. I think he felt he did a bit. Had to do some work. He's a very fit man in the first place, but he had to work for that one.
But you know, again, we go back to the mental fitness. You can see McLean was just so clear on his plan, where the horse should be. The horse did make it a little difficult for him sometimes. That's certainly not one of the easier horses to ride in the world, and he was able to just put the horse right there on the spot where it needed to be, even though it fought him once or twice.
And that's the thing of where you talk about that experience between those there. I mean, McLean Ward and Contagious, it's been a long time marriage now between the two of them. They might have their odd argument there, but they'll come out of it looking good.
Yeah, they will, and they'll come to an agreement.
Nicola Philipparts, Derby to Riverlands, a little less experience together. They're more the girlfriend and boyfriend still in the honeymoon stage at this point.
Yeah.
And Lucy Davis and
they
Ben,
just met each other.
Well, they're probably on their second marriage because they've been very successful before this.
Yes, both of them had second marriage.
But Lucy Davis, Nicola Philipparts, and McLean Ward's there. So 2 for the USA, 1 for Belgium, squeezed in there into that American sandwich. And it's an exciting 3 into this jump-off. Oscar Sobron, our course designer tonight, did a really interesting job there as well with the course. And Andrew Bourne's alongside me. I mean, it's just been touches.
Yeah, it touches. It's just such a careful course. And like I said, you know, a lot of options, a lot of questions the whole way around. And the course just didn't really let up. Each line had its own way in which it was difficult for the horse and rider.
Well, it's all coming up for you into the jump-off of this Horseware Island Grand Prix tonight. And, well, I'm afraid, Andrew, no Irish winner.
No.
No, you're going to have to get back in there next year.
Yes, I will.
We will be back in a few minutes' time after this break.
I share my life with them. I think we're lucky that we get to do what we do, and I've never looked at it as a sacrifice.
For me, being on a horse is the one place I can truly be myself.
They do have a language, you just have to learn how to speak it.
Remember that they feed off of our energies, and so if you're in a good mood or you're happy, they'll reflect that back.
You meet people from all over the world. You have friends that share the same passion for horses, and I think that's something very special.
Horses is the only constant thing in my life, and it will always be there when I need it.
For me, it's connection.
They make me who I am.
It's very hard to explain. It's magical.
It's just who we are.
In one word, it's freedom.
For me, it's everything.
My first goal when I decided to be a professional is to become like the best horsewoman I can be. It's really important for me to find the balance with my family, with the horses, that is my passion, work with the horses every day to do what I love. I used to have like one passion was the horses, and now I have two with my daughter, so I really want to have this balance in my life. I'm Marie Ecart, I'm a professional show jumper representing France, and I'm Lola's mom. Be mindful, be present, turn on your brain.
You'll know Mars for our confectionery, but we're also the people behind Buckeye Nutrition and many horse and pet food brands. Our research has been responsible for breakthroughs in animal welfare. In fact, Mars has been part of the equestrian community for almost 90 years. We sponsor events like Kentucky and badminton, work with riders like Andrew Hoy, Lauren Nicholson, Ben Mayer. We even named one of our most famous brands after a horse. Mars Equestrian, building a better world for horses, pets, and people.
And those are the three into the jump off of this Horseware Ireland Grand Prix. Our thanks to Horseware, once again, our presenting sponsor here tonight, as they have with a long and proud history here at Wellington and in their own company as well with their equine apparel. And together through it all since 1985. You can head to their website, www.shop.horseware.com. Those are all the dots. And we're going to take a look at the course for the jump off here as well. And what does it look like for our three going into battle tonight as part of our Horseware Ireland Grand Prix? There's still a little bit more to put on this one. And let's have a little look at how it played out, because Lucy Davis gave us the first of the clears with the Old Oak Group's Ben. Early on, and actually was the only clear in the first half. Andrew Bourne's alongside me. Andrew, like we said, this is the first time for this pairing together. They both had very successful careers separately.
Separately, yeah. And I think it's really impressive to see them on a course like this, on a night like this, to pull off a clear round. It was excellent.
Nicola Philippart's Derby de Riverland. And again, he's been close on some big classes so far this season. And they have got the speed.
Yeah, they have got the speed. And that horse has the range in its stride as well. But at the end of the day, they're both going to have to really, really bring their A games to be able to beat McLean.
Yeah, McLean on the end with Contagious. Here to the last, like you say, well-executed plan all the way. He's in prime spot, having won the WEF class earlier on this week as well. And so looking very nicely to try and emulate what he's done before of winning the qualifier and the Grand Prix.
He's coming in confident, so
coming in confident.
We'll give him that.
Exactly. And so let's have a look at the course for the jump off of this Horseware Ireland Grand Prix, thanks to Fidelity Investments, our sponsors of our animations here. And we're going to head as starting points to fence 7 this time. 7 and 8 to get us going. And actually, this has been moved to be poles now instead of the wall.
Not the wall, yeah, which is interesting because the wall did not ride very good in the first round. So interesting to see that.
Come back to fence 11 at this one, and that was where we had the little hedges underneath before, if I remember.
Yeah, looks like they've left the hedges in, so back on that.
Double 12B, 12C, final two parts of what was the triple combination up there. And then we're up the arena to fence 6. And again, a pole on top.
They've put a pole on top, yeah, which will change the dynamics substantially. Then I walked in 9 strides from 6 up to 15.
Yeah. And then back
Sorry,
down.
I walked at 10 strides, so possibly 9.
Yes.
And then
you were thinking jump off
I was
strides.
thinking jump off strides, and then possibly 9 strides to the last. So it'll be interesting to kind of see what the riders have counted and if they manage to stay to their plan.
So thank you to Fidelity Investments once again. We are all set for this jump off of tonight's Horseware Island Grand Prix. How will it come out? Well, it won't take long to find out because there's only 3 in there. Lucy Davis, Nicola Philipparts, and McLean Ward. Now 2 of those, of course, have been onto the Olympic team together back to 2016 as well. Lucy and McLean.
Yeah.
And Nicola Philipparts, huge experience from him. This is a big 3.
Yeah, it is. It's a heavy hitter 3. I think the classes in Wellington, they always have very strong field in them. Really, realistically, the best horse and rider combinations in the world tend to come here for the winter. So you very often see these really, really strong classes. And even for a 4, you could expect it in the 5-star nights, but this is a 4-star night. But realistically, it was built, in my opinion, with the heart of a 5-star. It was like quite a difficult course and a very strong field. When you look at McLean, had Contagious in it, you had Harry Charles, you had a lot of very, very strong people in there. And I think it should be an exciting jump off, because in the end, when there's only 3 people in the jump off, nobody's going to play it safe, because you really kind of have to lay it all out on the line, because the worst you can be is 3rd. So it's almost like a 3-way medal jump off if you're at the Olympics.
So getting ready for that jump off stage. Tractor's just putting the finishing touches to the arena. I'm not even going to ask you where your money's going, because this is a tricky one.
It is a tricky one because, okay, McLean's in the pole position. He's strong this week. But Nicola, his horse jumped fantastic in this round. And at the end, Nicola's horse might have a little more range in its stride. And Lucy Davis, you can never write her off. They're a newly formed pair, and definitely this is their first time at this level together. But separately, the horses won the Aachen Grand Prix, and Lucy's jumped in the Olympics. So it's really, the ingredients are there. It'll just be interesting to see what they do. And she's first to go, so she has somewhat of a disadvantage there over McLean and Nicola. So it'll be very interesting to see what happens.
So here we go into the jump off, and it is going to be the lineup of Lucy Davis, Nicola Philipparts, McLean Ward. Short, sweet and exciting, I am sure, for this one. So what lies ahead? Lucy Davis to start off with Ben. She'll be just getting some final instruction from Laura Kraut there as well.
Yes, and Nick.
Yeah. Well, I think Nick's over at Cheltenham.
Oh, is it Cheltenham? Yes,
Cheltenham this week.
Yeah,
Skeltonham. They've
Skeltonham,
rechristened it because the Skelton family have had an amazing Cheltenham.
They have.
That's the jump racing. Just the jump racing
the
end
Mecca.
of season.
Mega
totally.
season.
That's the Wimbledon Plus of their sport. Lucy Davis, though, is here with Ben. Good luck to her, and we know she can do this. She's done this a number of times with Baron
herself a number of times. Yeah, Baron was incredible, and we know Ben can do it. So it's really interesting to see what the two can do together. And I have to say, they were very, very good in the first round on a very technical, trying track. I think this pair could be definitely ones to watch. Just does a little setback, just checking the brakes. Like even they say in racing cars, the better your brakes work, the faster you can go. She's starting to get a good long run at the first fence. Staying on that inside line so she can get the angle. Good approach. So it's a long gallop up to number 8, which they've now changed to a vertical. She catches it nicely out of stride. She's actually quite quick there back across. Very fast around the corner. Good. Super jump over that. These are all kind of long runs, which does make it a little riskier when you have careful fences. There's no real related distances except for the end of this track. Pop that. So she just pulled that rail behind a little bit, maybe too much of an angle, needs to get to know this horse. Good run to the last fence, good round.
Just finishing on the 4 there, 45.50, just one down for Luce Davis and Ben. Now, she was out of the double in 24 seconds, gives us a little idea on time from that point of view, but here's the plank that, well, it's a pole now, it was the plank that came down for them.
You'll notice that fence only has stick standards on it as well, which made it quite difficult in the first round, especially when you're turning back at an angle. There's very little to hold the horses in or to hold their attention in, so might want to be a little bit careful on that. Just very much aim for the center as you roll back and not let them get too far to one side or the other. That'd be interesting.
Nicola Philippart's the world number 24 with Derby to Riverlands.
Now his decision right now, does he go for a clear round and know that he's in second place, or does he go fast enough to try and win? I suspect Nicola's going to go fast.
I'm going to throw it the other way around and say, look, there's only 2 of you left. What are you waiting for? At worst you are, you know.
Yeah.
I mean, okay, you have a fence.
Well, this is what I said, with a 3-horse jump off, they're all pretty much going to go for it.
Yeah,
because
have a spin.
Really, what do they have to lose? Now, interesting, he went around the tree, whereas Lucy went inside. Just she had more of an angle in the first. Gallop up to that second. Very good turn over the second fence. And he's moving. Now, this horse has a massive stride and is able to just carve a ground all the way across the arena. Super turn on that. Down to the double. And he wants to kind of reset the horse at the last possible moment of that double, so he wastes least amount of time. Gallop around this. Little bit of respect for this vertical. Yes. Very good. 8, 9, 10. There's the 10. Okay, so
now go.
2.
Now chase. Final fence for Nicola Philippart's Derby to Riverlands. Down the road to the Bainbridge fence to complete. 44.19. It's pretty efficient.
Yeah, I would say he's just put enough pressure on McLean to maybe McLean might make a mistake, which is unlikely. He's definitely not going to hand it over to him. I would say McLean's really, really got to bring his A game. Where it might be won or lost to the double, maybe a little bit more risk to the double, and maybe on those last 3 jumps, McLean just might gun it and try and leave that stride out. It's very, very risky though.
He was a second up coming out of the double actually as
second
well
up,
on
and he was a second and a half up at the end. So.
Yeah, but again, as you say, McLean has that experience with his horse. He's just, you can see the supercomputer.
Yeah,
just
he's just
flashing
analyzing.
away. Yeah.
But actually, the strange thing is, as a rider at this point, you want to keep it very simple, very straightforward.
Yeah.
You just think about what you got to do, where you got to be for the horse, what kind of ride you have to give the horse, and just really, really tune into what you're doing. Don't overanalyze it at this point. You have your plan, you know what you're going to do. Now just go and execute. Interesting, he went around the palm tree as well. And up 1. So he's moving. Very efficient there from the first to the second. Good gallop. This is a blind turn as you come around, so the horse doesn't really get their eye on it till the last minute. Very good jump. I would say there he's swift. He's faster. Yeah, he's quite quick.
Well,
there.
he's about the same actually. He's a fraction up, but it's not a lot.
He's a little wide there. He's gonna go.
44.19 to beat.
7, 8, 9. He's 1 less stride there.
Now he's got a really good shot at this. He's got this if he leaves
7,
this up.
8, 9.
He's got it. He's got it all the way. 43.24, and your winner is McLean Ward and Contagious.
I would say just a very precise, calculated round. I said to really there is a 9 from vertical to vertical up the end, and then a 9 to the last, and he executed it as he does. And the reality is, like, he got it without even breaking. Well, the horse is smart, but he got it without really looking like he was trying too hard. And at the end of the day, that's just perfect precision riding and a jump off. It was beautiful.
Very, very nice done by McLean Ward and Contagious. Nicola Philipparts to finish into second place there. Lucy Davis in third with Ben. Fourth actually for Spencer Britton with those titles there. Harry Charles top 5. Jessica Mendoza also for Great Britain finishing in 6th place. Mimi Gotchman just after that for the USA in 7th. Emily Conta in 8th. Gabriel de Manos Machado in 9th. Top 10 for Lee Soken. Nal Nassar takes 11th and Erin Ballard in 12th place. Three of them into job off to decide this Horseware Island Grand Prix. Congratulations to McLean. We're going to be back in just a few minutes' time as we have a quick shout out to our sponsor, Horseware Island.
I share my life with them. I think we're lucky that we get to do what we do, and I've never looked at it as a sacrifice.
For me, being on the horse is the one place I can truly be myself.
They do have a language, you just have to learn how to speak it.
Remember that they feed off of our energies, and so if you're in a good mood or you're happy, they'll reflect that back.
You meet people from all over the world. You have friends that share the same passion for horses, and I think that's something very special.
Horses is the only constant thing in my life, and it will always be there when I need it.
For me, it's connection.
They make me who I am.
It's very hard to explain. It's magical.
It's just who we are.
In one word, it's freedom.
For me, it's everything.
Well, there's the lineup, and superbly done by McLean Ward. Just squeaks ahead of Nicola Philipparts by just over a second, only just over a second. Lucy Davis back there on the 4-4. So let's take a look at McLean's round and how he did it. And Andrew Bourne's alongside me to have a look. Andrew, the precision is there to see.
Yeah, I think precision at the end of the day, he just went in so calculated. He knew exactly what he had to do. To be honest, statistically, if you look at the round, and this is a good testament to Nicola and his horse, statistically he should have been maybe even more faster and even further ahead than Nicola, and he was quite close in the end.
Yeah.
But you see there at the back of that double he landed, it just got away. Little bit of respect here because he knew he was going to leave the stride out. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
But by the time he gets here, though, he's got it in handfuls.
3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And he actually did the normal distance to the last. And it was that much that just made the difference in the end, you know. And McLean going in knew that he had to do that. He knew that Nicola was relatively fast for the course that was set and was going to be hard to beat, and he had to pull out all the stops to do it, and he did.
Well, very well done there for McLean Ward, and tops things off after again finishing on the podium into the 5-star Grand Prix this season. He's just been after that getting that Grand Prix win behind him.
Yeah.
And doubles it up this week with the WEF.
Yeah,
the WEF
so
Challenge
that's
Cup as
impressive, you know, to come in on a week and win the qualifier or win the WEF and the Grand Prix. You know, it's quite hard to do just to keep that consistency. And don't forget to run the horse that fast early on in the week and then be able to regroup. It's quite a testament to your horsemanship and your system and your people around you that you can kind of pull the horse back in again on the Saturday night and go that fast again and not have it affect you or your result or the horse. Not everyone can do that. I think it's quite impressive.
And again, you'll know your horse of what's best for you.
And you know your horse, exactly, and you know how to respond in different situations with the horse. And that's just about experience, and they know their horses so well, those guys, and they would just have everything done just right for that horse, both for the qualifier and for tonight.
Lucy Davis and Ben.
Really impressive. You know, it would be unusual that somebody so new with a horse could do this well in a Grand Prix like this. So I think we all should be very, very impressed with what Lucy did tonight. Definitely a fantastic rider and a very experienced rider and an incredible horse, no doubt. But to actually make a new partnership like that and have the belief and be able to come in and actually pull off a result like this on a horse that you really don't know that well yet, I think it's very impressive. And it's a testament to the people behind her.
Lucy Davis was just there on foot into our presentation there, and is joined by Paula Woodward, North American Marketing Coordinator of Horseware Island. And, well, they'll also get some mainstream munchies. I don't know whether Lucy just wants a carrot.
Yeah.
Finishing in second place for Nicola Philipparts and Derby de Riverlands. We said they had the ability.
Yeah, I think Nicola should be extremely pleased. And at the end of the day, McLean had the pole position as well. He knew exactly what he had to do. And I think Nicola pulled off a really, really nice round tonight. And I thought his horse jumped exceptionally well. Like, really found each distance, found each jump out of stride. Very, very nicely done. Nice quality horse.
Yeah, looking very good. And so Nicola Philipparts is in second place, but it is well done to McLean Ward and Contagious for the Beechwood Stables, for the Revers family, and continues their wonderful run and partnership together. And comes up now for the presentation of this Horseware Island Grand Prix. McLean getting the Grand Prix win under his belt this season. He knew there was one there. It was
well, we all knew it was there. It was going to happen eventually. And for my sake, I hope it doesn't start a trend. I'd like to have a chance over the next 2 Saturday nights. But I really, look, he did tonight. He just does what he does, went in there. He had a plan. He knew what he had to do. He knew his horse so well. He just went in and he really, really executed it in the end. So very impressive.
And leading international rider of the week. Well, that wasn't hard to pick up there. No. Michael and Wendy Smith there presenting that award because it's based on points from the WEF class and the Grand Prix. Well, if you win both,
it's kind of hard to beat.
It's pretty, academic at that point.
So he ran away with that one. Yeah, well done. Just a super performance. And like I said, to pull it off both the qualifier and the Grand Prix, that's very, very, very exceptional. Doesn't always happen that way.
And so, readying for the national anthem of our winning rider. Congratulations to McLean Ward, of course, for the United States of America, and a few mainstream munchy carrots for Contagious. Very well done to McLean and Super 1, and of course a super lineup for the week with McLean Ward winning 2 classes, and here we Contagious won that WEF Challenge Cup with Robin Parsky's First Lady as well.
First Lady, I'll correct myself on that one, but yeah, McLean, that's almost as impressive that you can take two horses out of your barn and win it on First Lady Robin Parsky, wonderful horse. And then to actually come and win the Grand Prix in a different horse, it's quite exceptional. So,
well, an exceptional week. We've got 2 more exceptional weeks to come here in Wellington as part of the Winter Equestrian Festival, where the fun never stops here in southern Florida. And, well, the team will be back next week, and out go the ribbons. Congratulations to McLean Ward. Of course, we'll bring you tomorrow's Brain Juice U25 Grand Prix as well. I'll be taking a breather next week too, and I'll be back with the Rolex Grand Prix, etc. Andrew Bournes, good luck.
Thank you very
You've got
much.
A busy couple of weeks coming up.
Yeah,
You're going to
I'll be jumping the Rolex and
putting your
meter
armour
50 final. So yeah, I'll be ready to go.
Yeah, putting your armour on, getting out there. Good luck to you, and well done to McLean Ward. He's the man who is the Knight Supreme out of battle tonight for our Horseware Islands. Grand Prix. Congratulations to them and to all of you. Of course, St Patrick's Day tomorrow. Have fun, enjoy, and he's in the blue, but it's green for the rest of the weekend. Well done to McLean Ward, and Contagious takes home tonight's Grand Prix. We'll see you soon.
I'm so glad there was a jump off. Really? I was actually